He would randomly like send me pictures of like gigantic asses and talk about like physically eating butts like a cake, right?
No, you a freak,
it was
okay.
weird.
Whoa.
However, I have got some lovely pictures for you.
Have you deep?
Okay. It's over. The Amazing Atheist, How a Banana Destroyed a Legacy. I remember this guy from back in the day. I was not a huge Amazing Atheist viewer. I wasn't like, oh my God, I love Amazing Atheist. But I remember him back in the day. He kind of was on YouTube doing commentary, quote unquote, videos like before the commentary community really was. A lot of the earliest commentary stuff was like atheist content. It was like owning the Christians. This is a whole era. Kent Hovind, is that it? Well, they liked Richard Dawkins. They idolized him. And then essentially the atheist community gave way to like the anti-SJW community, which gave way to BreadTube, which gave way to the Red Pill. So it all goes back. And it's all tied up in Gamergate for some reason. So that's the situation we're dealing with here.
There is a struggle in the legacy of the Amazing Atheist. On one hand are these somewhat serious ideas he's promoted. On the other hand is the banana incident.
You don't want to watch it? No.
The banana incident is awesome. I'm not going to spoil it. The banana incident is perhaps the best thing he's ever done. I love the banana incident, okay? Turkey Tom Christian apologetics when? Yeah, super cringe, super gay. Dude, I would never defend Christians. They're all evil, as we know, including Wendigoon, especially him.
You don't even want to see the poop on his... No, I don't want to see anything about that guy ever.
And then you get the stuff in between.
Hello, I'm the Joker.
Thomas James Kirk, TJ Kirk for short, throughout his 20 years online, has survived in the YouTube environment by being embroiled in conversation.
Wait, his name is Thomas? I didn't know his name was Thomas. I didn't know that. He's like me. I like him now. He's cool. If he has my namesake, I feel like he must be good, right? We're both named after St. Thomas, but he's the cringe atheist. I'm the base agnostic, okay?
Conversations around religion, the anti-SJW movement that he describes himself as being a catalyst of, and the heavily chaotic moments or just out-of-place spaces he finds himself in.
TJ Kirk calls himself the Amazing Atheist. Welcome to all of you.
Dude, I forgot he got on the news. He got on CNN. That's crazy. I totally forgot that. You know, what I remember recently was Milo Yiannopoulos was all over the news back in the day, too. That was a crazy era. And this guy is loosely related to Milo Yiannopoulos' downfall.
From his appearance on CNN to a fundraising livestream that is remembered for anything but fundraising. The lore of TJ is so prevalent that even J.K. Rowling knows about the banana.
She does? Wait, no way.
The lore of TJ is so prevalent that even J.K.
People keep telling me about the banana. I had no need or wish to know about the banana. I forgot this even happened. What the? Oh my God. The person who wrote the Harry Potter books knows who TJ Kirk is. I guess in fairness, she probably knows who a lot of YouTube people are because she's like super active on Twitter and arguing about political topics, but that is insane. He was on Rogan. I know that.
Rowling knows about the banana. Even so, there is more to uncover in the chaos that is a history of the Amazing Atheist.
Well, so was back in the day, Sargon of Akkad was on Rogan too, which is really funny to think about now. Rogan had an interesting come up, man. I feel like now to be a YouTuber on his show, you have to have like 10 million subscribers because he's just too big. Like he can't follow up interviewing Donald Trump with interviewing Pegasus. More Pegasus needs to be on Joe Rogan. He has a lot to say.
The story of the Amazing Atheist starts with his lesser-known alias, Taroja, an alias and website that appears to be an expansive outlet of TJ's. Its oldest Wayback Machine screenshot dates all the way back to 2004. Here, he would display some of his Microsoft Paint art.
That's beautiful.
Or just some posts of his thoughts. Quote, I am vulgar. I think bad thoughts, and more often than not, I shit them forth from my mouth with all the enthusiasm of an overpaid on ecstasy. What's worse, I usually say them when in mixed company, or when speaking to one with fragile ears, and a fragile mind in between them.
Is this ironic? Is this satirical? I'm so edgy. I think things you're not supposed to think. I have beliefs you're not supposed to think. I say what no one else will. I'm based. I'm dark. I'm edgy. I'm cool. Probably not ironic. Yeah, probably wasn't considering the kind of guy he was back then. This was another good era. I didn't really live through this. I mean, I guess it was alive, but I wasn't really witnessing it. But this was such a good era when everybody had their own website. Before YouTube, okay, before you could really make money off this shit, everybody just had their own website. Onision had his own website, who also had a bunch of drama with the Amazing Atheist from what I remember. Really funny time.
Unquote. TJ also had a section of the website dedicated to poetry, and was a big fan of Marilyn Manson, and so
Of
much
course
of
he
this
was.
website mimics Manson's style. It's not so much the website Taroja that brings concern, it is what the user Taroja stated in a Marilyn
Atheist, libertarian.
Manson fan forum in 2006. Quote, having pedophilic attractions doesn't mean you automatically go out and start redacting kids. From the time I was 14 to the time I was about 19, I used to have extreme pedophilic fantasies, and I somehow managed to never even come close to acting on them.
What? What? I didn't know this. What? You're 19 having pedophilic fantasies? What? I didn't know that. Weird flex, but okay. That is a weird flex. Damn. That's crazy. I mean, maybe he was just saying it to be edgy and didn't actually have that. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, not good. Not good. Fantana review, not good. That's what I would say there.
I think with my brain, not my penis. I think the difference in punishment between child rapists and child molesters should be more significant, with molesters perhaps simply attending mandatory therapy for their first offense. I also think that the age of sexual consent should be lowered to 12 or 13.
Dude, but child molestation is child rape. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You're abusing a child. What is the distinction? You touch the child versus you put your dick in them? It's still child rape. What? I didn't know he wrote any of this. This is kind of taking me aback. I didn't know he was on that kind of edgy arc. And I know he was an edgy guy. I know he said crazy shit, but this is another level. 12 or 13 too? Jeez, dude. Usually you hear people say maybe we should make it 18 in every state instead of 16 or 15 or 17 in some states. Not let's put it lower. Usually you don't hear people saying let's put it lower. That's a crazy blast from the past. I didn't know any of this shit.
Unquote. This is only a single archive post of a longer conversation that has not been archived, and there's always the chance that this wasn't TJ's profile, or was hacked or someone usurped the name Taroja. Though there's just other forms of evidence that TJ was predisposed to this sort of thing, it hardly ever goes beyond screenshots that can also be altered or...
So it could be fake is what he's saying? It might not be real at all. Well, that's good to know. Hopefully it's not fake. I'm curious if he's ever talked about this stuff. I'm gonna look up Amazing Atheist, Age of Consent. Has he ever commented on these old forum posts and if they're actually his? Because they might not be him, I guess. It's very possible. It doesn't look like he's made a he's made a real response to it as of recent. Thank you, JRB4K, for becoming a member. He has a Twitter, right? Yeah, did he ever respond? This video came out on November 13th, 2024. Let's see if he's ever said anything. I've been a huge Joker fan all my life. I love the character. I love his embodiment of chaos and carnage. I love his aesthetic and how he can be interpreted in so many ways. That all being said, please give this character a rest for a while. All right, doesn't look like he said anything about it. Well, I guess maybe it's not him. That's possible. Let it be known. Don't be so serious. Why so serious? Okay. Has anyone showed him the Jokler though? Maybe we got to show him the Jokler.
Or entirely fabricated. But one thing is verifiable. TJ was not a pleasant person.
Well, I guess since we've never met, it'd be proper to start with an introduction. My name is T.L. Kincaid. I'm 21 years of age. I know I look a little older. I'm basically your average, everyday person, I guess.
He aged really interesting. He doesn't look 21. He looks like fucking 35. He just has such a big... He kind of has that phenomenon that... What's the guy who plays Hellboy? Ron Perlman. His face just looks really large. The features are large. He's expanded quite a bit. And it's not because he's fat. He just has large features. Strong features. The Jonkler is the answer to all. Well, the real question is Jonkler, Jokler, or Wokler?
You know, aside from the, insanity and actual IQ and the triple digits, I guess. Whatever.
What's up, Michael? Hope work's going well.
I have not even the faintest ambition of changing anyone's mind. I'm not interested in...
That was TJ's first YouTube video. One filmed in...
He's so nonchalant. He's so... I'm just a black-pilled guy. I have no faith that anyone will ever truly see the light of the fact that there is no God. But I personally take comfort in the fact that I know the real truth and that when I die, there will be nothing but a great void of darkness.
In 2006, set in his garage.
I went on YouTube and I made a horrible, horrible fucking video that is just wretched in every way.
And, you know, I walk around my garage talking in this monotone voice like this.
As TJ expressed, his 21-year-old self lacks self-awareness or perhaps was too arrogant.
Because back then I felt like I had nothing to learn. I felt like I already knew it all.
Whatever the case, TJ deleted this video perhaps out of embarrassment or the fact that he said racial slurs. TJ was not the sort of person to hide things, and more so covered his bases as YouTube would grow increasingly displeased with his presence. For now, he already had a handful of fans that existed even prior to his first video.
I was already being like a fucking asshole atheist troll to people in like internet forums and stuff. So a bunch of people, they liked the way I wrote. They told me I should take my,
Oh, I thought June was interviewing him here for a second. It wasn't him. I was going to ask, couldn't June have asked about those old forum posts if he had him on interview, but it's not his voice interviewing him, so this must just be pulled from somewhere else.
I should take it on YouTube, and I was kind of like, I don't know.
And with that, the Amazing Atheist was born.
I guess I turned to my audience as sort of my therapy, or at least I used to do that. Kind of how I started off on YouTube, just talking about what was inside of me, what I was feeling, what I was thinking.
Now, let me ask you a question. If you had to go all the way to this book, or all the way to atheism, our side, which would you choose? I think most of them would probably choose us. I would hope most of them would choose us. We do seem to be the morally superior choice.
And I didn't really care if people liked it or agreed with it, or they didn't like it or they didn't agree with it.
Let's defend these three things that you have decried, okay? Basically incest, polygamy, cannibalism.
Let's defend them. This is a funny era of YouTube as well, because once again, when you watch a lot of these videos about older internet figures, like he started before you could really make money doing YouTube, or before it was like a thought in his mind of something he could reasonably obtain, right? So back in the day, a lot of YouTube was just people shouting into the void, begging for any sense of attention, for any sense of camaraderie, or just posting for the pure fun of it, right? The pure love of the game. This guy at this point wasn't debating people on this for money. He wasn't responding to YouTube comments for money. He was just trying to have his voice heard by someone, trying to get his opinions out there, trying to do it for the love of the game. And so as a result, you get a lot of really interesting, some uncouth, but some really interesting content. You know, you don't get this as much now. People just yelling into the void about what they think. You do get it some places like TikTok, but on YouTube, you don't get it as much, just because now YouTube's so commodified, it's so commercialized. Most of the people coming to YouTube are coming here with the intention of like, okay, I can definitely make some money doing this, you know? Back in the day, this is the only stuff on the platform. So these guys would get really popular just for being kind of one of the first in the race. The banana, the Baldo of those without God. Ignorant Weed. Remember when he was in the same video as Fantano and a bunch of other YouTubers all roasting SJWs, and Anthony didn't like it after a few years? Was he in the same video as Fantano? I mean, I know Fantano was a little on that side back in the day to an extent. Amazing Atheist Fantano. Interesting.
Here's a question I have for you. It's actually an interesting one. So I guess there was like what was it? It was like one of those, I forget whose channel it was on, but it was a video. It was one of those dumb, like, responding to SJW's video or something. I think it's called Questions for White Men. And I think you were featured in the video, right?
Questions for White Men, Anthony Fantano. I want to see that. Questions for White Men, Anthony Fantano. What channel was this on? Questions White Men have for SJWs. Oh, so this is a re-upload.
Why do you claim?
I assume. Oh yeah, okay, it's got to be this one. So we got the classics here. We got Undoomed. We got Armored Skeptic. We got this kangaroo guy, Sargon of Akkad, Cult of Dusty, Chris Raygun, Kraut, Mr. Epsilon. What else do we have? Oh, there it is. Let's go.
You support it. But if a female video game character is dressed sexy, then you want her clothed more modestly.
What is your favorite song to sing really loud when you're confronted with a different point of view?
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Why are you
Okay. I mean, that was, I don't even know. That was just kind of cringe. That was crazy, dude. You never know what you're going to run into here. What's this clip?
Your favorite song to sing really loud?
Oh, it's the same clip again. Okay. Well, I guess you know what he said. What's your favorite song to sing when you're confronted with a different opinion? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
On YouTube, The Amazing Atheist was admittedly a dude who had inspired me quite a bit. Obviously not to make atheist videos or anything like that, but, you know, I had seen his channel along with some other channels like the Angry Video Game Nerd and so on and so forth. And, you know, it said, wow, like these people have sort of like...
I know the Cold Ones episode with Mr. Beast came out. I have not watched it. I don't have a desire to watch it on stream. I don't think it'd be that interesting.
Created a whole YouTube channel, a whole video series around this one thing that they're like really passionate about. Like, why could I not do the same thing with music? You know, that just sort of makes sense to me. So later down the road, when finally TJ had acknowledged the content that I was making, you know, like on Twitter, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, you know, because I think he saw like a Marilyn Manson review that I had done. And, you know, and we had some interactions based off of that. And, you know, he had asked me to be a part of this video. And based on the content I had seen of his before, where he had come off pretty left-leaning, and also, you know...
Oh, he's defending it. He's got to say the Amazing Atheist was a libtard. He was a left-wing guy, and that's why he went on, okay? That's why he went on.
Had expressed, you know, opinions where he was calling out and making fun of total morons in that video, like atheism is unstoppable. I had thought, okay, this kind of seems like it's going to be a taking the piss type video where it's just going to be like tongue-in-cheek and silly and ridiculous, whereas, you know, the video actually ended up kind of serious, like more serious than I would have anticipated it to be. And I took that opportunity to sort of like extend upon this meme troll character that I was developing for my channel, That Is the Plan, at the time, where I'd get the glasses and the wife beater and the beanie on, and I would just like be a total fucking asshole and just like a total unlikable, like fucking like basically the worst person, like who could be on.
Were you drifting towards the anti-SJW stuff on that channel?
Was that really what That Is the Plan channel was? I mean, it was kind of a character, but I feel like most of it was just him reviewing memes, right? Is that really true? I feel like That Is the Plan character is mostly him just like looking at memes being like, haha, but it wasn't all like in character. He did give serious takes here and there.
I would say the politics expressed in the videos on that channel were across the spectrum, and it was really all about like eating up and regurgitating back out like the worst that the internet had to offer. And that meant like making fun of YouTube apology videos. That meant throwing in memes and making fun of MAGA. That meant making fun of SJWs. That meant making fun of like basically every shitty, annoying thing that internet culture had to offer. And there were people who were SJWs who watched.
I feel like Fantano knew what he was stepping into, but changed. That's the plan was kind of based. Yeah, I feel like it's hard for him to say that just like, yeah, I kind of didn't like a lot of the cringy, progressive, retarded shit at the time from a lot of those, you know, like Anita Sarkeesian or Zoe Quinn or, you know, what have you, the Zarna Joshi, the girl who is like, humongous what? Like that kind of stuff. People push back against that. You know, I feel like it's okay for him to acknowledge that, you know.
Yes, I'm going to defend all three.
This was early TJ. A mix of passion and indifference. He really did not care what his audience thought. Whether they liked what he was saying or hated it, he just wanted to get his stuff out there, sometimes for the sake of angering people or just getting a message out.
The only interesting thing about the Colons video is Mr. Beast says the interview is going on too long and Laserbeam calls it a war crime. That is kind of funny. Damn. You never know what's going to happen, bro. You never know. I feel like Fantano could rip you to shreds. He's huge, dude. Have you seen him? Fantano is jacked as fuck. Have you seen what he looks like? I'm pretty sure he's like a power lifter. Anthony Fantano jacked. I bet he could. This is an old picture. Oh, that's not even him actually. I know there's pictures of him being fucking jacked as fuck. I know they exist. Somewhere out there, they're there. All right. He's a big dude. I think he's been weightlifting for like 10 years too. Fantano deadlift. I gotta watch him talk to Hassan. I don't want to watch that. He's a big guy. He's a big guy. 4 plates, that's a lot. That's a lot, bro. He's huge, okay? You're absolutely right.
Most of them would probably choose us. I would hope most of them would choose us. We do seem to be the morally superior choice.
And I didn't really care if people liked it or agreed with
that you have decried, okay? Basically.
This was early TJ. A mix of passion and indifference. He really did not care what his audience thought. Whether they liked what he was saying or hated it, he just wanted to get his stuff out there, sometimes for the sake of angering people or just getting a message out.
Well, you know what? There may be 1 billion Catholics, but there's more atheists in the world than there are Catholics.
That was a video addressing Pope Benedict's statement that atheism has brought great cruelty. TJ counters this through a montage of the cruelties committed by the Catholic Church with a song by Marilyn Manson playing in the background. With such serious subject matters being
That's edgy as fuck, dude. That's so edgy. Bass.
Discussed. What could be his follow-up video?
Just Marilyn Manson music. Christianity is fascism.
Wish I had to kill. I was trained on Shadowville's battlefield.
Yeah.
Wish I had to kill.
Transformers 2, The Reckoning.
Now that Lotion Dispenser Tron is dead, we're safe. Nothing bad could happen now.
I am an evil government agent come to take your friends away.
But he's my friend.
Oh, okay.
That was TJ's parody on the Transformers movies titled Transformers 5. At 7 million views, this stands as his most popular video ever. And no matter what TJ uploaded, what thought he put out into the ether, it could not beat this 2-minute video. Following this chain of videos, from addressing the Pope's statements to a parody of the Transformers movies, nothing could prepare TJ's audience for his next video.
Hey everybody, Amazing Atheist here. I just got back from the hospital. To make a long story short, my father died tonight.
Jeez.
I probably won't be around for a while. The only reason I'm making this video now is because I really just don't know what else to fucking do with myself.
TJ was using YouTube for various reasons, but at the top was still expression.
When I first started making content on YouTube, I was just an angry loner with no real friends. I'd had friends in the past, of course, here and there, but, you know, either through time or distance, you know, those friendships had eroded. But at the time, the main interest I had was just venting. I didn't have a therapist. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any family I could talk to except for Scotty. So I just, I use YouTube as a place to vent.
This seeking of...
Great, now I feel bad for him. I mean, it's okay to feel bad for someone you disagree with. I don't know if those old forum posts were real, and actually from him, if they were, that's kind of concerning for sure. The ones about, you know, the age of consent and that kind of stuff. But you can still feel bad for someone that you don't really like. If you don't like Amazing Atheist, you can feel bad for him. That's okay. That's totally normal. There's something kind of, in my mind, beautiful about that time on YouTube, you know? People just shouting into the void, expressing themselves, using it for therapy. You know, on one hand, it is sad he was kind of being terminally online and he didn't have friends in real life. But at the same time, you know, he was able to find a sense of community on the internet, able to find a sense of camaraderie, able to communicate with other people, share his feelings, get their feedback. It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. I like that there was this era of YouTube when it was just all about self-expression. That's kind of all TikTok is now. I mean, TikTok, you can monetize it now, obviously, but a lot of TikTok right now is just people trying to communicate how they feel, trying to talk about how they feel on a day-to-day. It's not necessarily just a monetization thing. Is he broke or was he broke? Back then, who knows? He could have been. He's definitely made a good bit of money off YouTube now. Should the mentally disabled have the right to consent? Discuss. No, but we should do it anyway.
Community was possibly how the ASU was conceptualized.
This isn't a movement for all YouTube atheists. There will be those of you who want to join more respectable groups that do a lot of talking and not a lot of acting. And there will be those of you who shun the idea of joining a group altogether. And we here at the ASU completely respect and fully support your decision. We are the Black Panthers of the atheist movement.
We are the Black Panthers of the atheist movement. We're the violent revolutionary atheists. We're not like the other atheists. The other atheists are scared. They're respectable. They're the white, cringe, suburban atheists. We are the edgy atheists, okay? We will decry Christianity, and we will say the N-word, and we will not have any regrets about it. Yeah, dude, that's fucking awesome. I love YouTube.com.
The ASU, or the Atheist Scum United, appears to be a movement possibly sourced from TJ.
You know, if you're an
Atheist Scum United, it's the same thing as like the, what is that thing, the Dirtbag Left? Like Vosh, he was like, Look, I may be a leftist, but I'm still edgy. I still make edgy jokes, okay? I'm not Reddit. I'm the 4chan leftism. I'm the edgy leftism, okay? I make jokes about minorities and I support their rights.
And there's other alienated youths out there in the world, and you know, a lot of you are going through similar experiences, having similar interactions, feeling similarly confined by society. You know, that's going to resonate.
The ASU movement, whatever it was, attracted like-minded individuals, some more intense than others.
Who is that?
I was angered that Brett Keane had lied about me and ASU and my cyber pet, the amazing atheist.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
That was Judalicious threatening a different person known as Brett Keane, who was...
Judalicious. Is Judalicious still around on YouTube? I gotta know. These videos make me so curious what happened. Where are they now? Judalicious. Response, Judalicious 17 years ago. Is this a mom?
Hello, Judalicious.
Hi.
I just wanted to respond to your...
This doesn't even look real. What is this?
Why are Americans so stupid? Now, I know you wanted me to really think about that question, as well
What are the weird sounds? What is that?
as all Americans.
Oh, she's shitting. I just realized she's taking a shit. Oh my god. What did I find 17 years ago? What is this?
Did Richard Dawkins put you up to it?
Bruh.
You know, us 6-day creationists, we happen to believe that what you're engaged in...
Why is there so much?
idol
Why is there
worship.
so much shit in her ass?
Instead of worshiping God, the one who created you, this earth, the galaxy, everything in 6 days, instead of worshiping him, we worship.
Okay, I'm turning it off. Okay. That's enough. That's enough. We've had enough of Judalicious, at least the person responding to Judalicious. I'm glad we got to witness that together. Why was the shitting louder than her voice? What is the anatomy of her body to the point that I don't even know. Some questions better not asked. Would you, dude? Stop.
was opposed to whatever the ASU was. Brett Keane also claims that TJ made an alternate YouTube account to launch threats and use racial slurs freely. There are many unsubstantiated claims that float around in this space. But what is true is that TJ and Brett Keane were at odds with each other.
This is like kind of internet spurgery where you're arguing with each other and making alt accounts to own each other for the love of the game. This is the amount of spurgery you only see in certain little communities nowadays. It's kind of died. Sigma females don't exist. Dude, she is a Sigma. That's true. Don't pretend you won't watch it off stream. That's true. I'll ferociously beat myself to it. And you know what I mean when I say that. But this is like the art commentary community, right? People just doing it for the love of the game. They don't care about making money. They just want to own each other with facts and logic over the internet. That's literally it.
Another thing that is also true is whatever this movement was died off rather quickly. Its death sped up as it was spearheaded by unstable individuals. Even so, TJ persisted in content creation, continuing to say whatever was on his mind. And on his mind this day was politician Sarah Palin.
And one of her kids has Down syndrome, and apparently some people think this is a strength. And I mean, I don't want to offend people, because I know a lot of us have people with Down syndrome in our family, myself included, and no one wants to make fun of people with Down syndrome. But here's a fact. People with Down syndrome are not pleasant to look at.
All right, TJ. Just making a video response, making a video rant on Sarah Palin. I mean, I guess they're not.
America does not want to vote to see some Down syndrome kid day in and day out, and I'm sorry if that offends.
Oh my god, dude. Oh shit. Dude, someone needs to make Sarah Palin aware of this so she can call him out on her gameplay commentary channel with CSGO footage, okay? Sarah Palin's still hot. I don't completely disagree.
Anyone? It's not my intention. I'm just saying I don't want to see it. You don't want to see it. No one's going to vote for this bitch.
Not all that TJ...
And she lost.
says is sincere. Citing Marilyn Manson and George Carlin as his inspirations, he sought to be controversial.
I'm not going to be Zarathustra that comes down from the mountain thinking that the people are actually going to listen to me. I'm going to be the fucking asshole, villainous motherfucker that comes down from the mountain and says, fuck you people. So I guess that's, I kind of got that antagonistic attitude from them.
This strategy was working well. That video on Sarah Palin got 2.6 million views and stands as one of his most viewed videos. Though at this point in time, this was par for the course for the more opinionated sections of YouTube. This also began changing in 2008.
This channel has really been my primary source of income since 2008.
Though TJ does not specify.
I think 2008 is when YouTube opened up. When did the YouTube Partner Program launch? Because I don't. But then there was also an era where, because he wasn't a gaming channel, so he was partner. Because there was an era when if you were a gaming channel, you had to go through a network. When did YouTube launch the Partner Program? It must have been when Google bought them, right? December 2007. So 2008, he was already on it. Okay, interesting. Or his most popular videos to this day: Justin Bieber sucks, Sarah Palin, feminism versus freedom of speech.
So I was on MySpace, and I know that there's going to be a bunch of little trendy kids who are like, no.
What a crazy look, dude. What a crazy look. TJ is like a grown-up version of Cartman from South Park.
No one uses MySpace anymore. You're not hip and trendy and cool and with it, and I don't relate to you, and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, here's my preemptive rebuttal to that. Shut the fuck up!
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I mean, obviously he's kind of playing a character there to an extent, but that is such a funny fucking. You just don't see this anymore, dude. This reminds me of this is like that low tier God video where he calls out Boogie. This is the same sort of energy, the same sort of raw rage.
This is a fucking video to some fat fuck on YouTube named Boogie 2988. Now, I'm tired of this fat fuck popping up in all my fucking search engines when I'm looking for a fucking workout video. I don't give a fuck about the aftermath from any of you Boogie fans that feel sorry for this greasy fuck. You fat fucking disgusting ass smelling, blob, cheese drinking, Crisco.
I like all the cuts in between when he's coming up with the insults. Every single cut has a new insult. Cheese drinking, blob, stupid, cut, fat, cut, retarded, cut.
Bathing, lard gargling, calorie thieving, cabbage patch face having, Dr. Robotnik looking, Wingstop eating, McDonald's gorging, T-Rex arm having, non-vegetable eating, cook on a George Foreman grill just to drink out the drip tray, wide load.
Just to drink, cook in the George Foreman grill just to drink out the drip tray. That is crazy. Remember at the end of this video, he does pull-ups in his house.
Play into it. You don't like what the fuck I'm saying? Then fuck you.
So awesome, dude. Such a base moment. Shout out low tier God. Salad dodging.
If that money came from an early variant of the YouTube Partner Program, the Partner Program was in development, and YouTube knew it had to clean up some of the less advertiser-friendly content that deterred skeptical brands from advertising on their platform.
When YouTube made these changes and said, now we're family friendly, they never grandfathered in the content that was already on YouTube. So people were having, at the time, their channels removed for videos that were old that, you know, followed the rules that YouTube had at that time. So that's, I mean, it's kind of bullshit. You know, you put something up that's not against the rules, and then they change the rules and then retroactively apply it to the content.
The Amazing Atheist was one of these channels.
Amazing Atheist here. If I'm lacking my usual zest and charisma, well,
freespeechvids.com.
I'm a little rusty. Haven't been allowed to access my YouTube account for nearly 2 weeks now, because YouTube decided that 2 of my videos were so very offensive that my account needed to be suspended for 2 weeks. And no matter how much I tried to argue and reason with them, they wouldn't let me back on.
This ban was applied and reverted June of 2009 and possibly influenced TJ's approach to content creation. He started by deleting videos YouTube could strike him for, but he did not plan on them disappearing forever.
There hasn't been a big YouTube ban wave in a while, has there? I feel like for the past 6 months to a year, I haven't really seen a recent, the most recent thing as far as YouTube moderation is not their over-moderating, it's the lack of moderation with, like when I made a video about all of those comments that had, they were promoting a very weird, very, very weird video that was being uploaded to YouTube that was illegal material. That was the last time I remember any kind of YouTube controversy about moderation. It's been a while since we've had like a big, like, Mumkey Jones or Leafy style ban. I guess all the YouTubers just kind of adjusted to what the current meta is, but I can't remember it happening for a while. They banned gun channels or thought about it. Yeah, they did have that. That was like a year ago, I want to say, right? I do remember that whole gun channel thing where they were, I think YouTube had some ban where you can't show yourself loading an automatic weapon now, or you can't show the ammunition, which is crazy. Isn't YouTube deciding what to platform their expression of free speech? I don't see what these types of people see other people expressing free speech as suppression of theirs. Well, the reason why people have a problem with it is because YouTube, I mean, you can make the argument like, okay, YouTube's a private company. Legally speaking, you're right. But the argument on the other side is like, well, YouTube is a platform that has a total monopoly on video content online. There's no alternative to YouTube. There really isn't. People say, oh, Rumble, Kick, these are not even close competitors, okay? It's really just YouTube. And when they ban you, they're banning you from the only platform you really have to make videos on and get a wide audience to see it, and simultaneously make the amount of money that you can make on YouTube doing it. So the argument is like, well, YouTube is kind of a public square more than it is just a company. It's almost a utility. You know, I think the best policy would be, obviously YouTube has to have some moderation. I think the best policy would probably be that they demonetize channels rather than ban them outright, but yeah.
But don't worry, because a lot of the videos I took down will be reappearing on my new website, freespeechvids.com, under construction right now.
In 2009, YouTube was hardly the end-all be-all of internet videos. Many creators were hosting their own websites where all their videos could be found, like that guy with the glasses. Famous for being the home of the nostalgic critic and now the distressed watcher.
I feel like almost nobody does this anymore. There are a few big YouTubers, like Cody Ko has Tiny Meat Gang, TMG Studios, where he has like a subscription site for that stuff. But generally speaking, people don't really have their own independent websites for content anymore. People pretty much just have it all on YouTube now because there's no real alternative and there's no reason to go elsewhere, right? It's really hard to get people. It's really, really difficult to get people from YouTube to go to a different platform to watch videos elsewhere, especially behind a paywall. It's quite difficult. Some people with really loyal audiences have it, but it's pretty uncommon. Back in the day, though, it was much more common. Boogie said the N-word on lolcow. Thoughts? He's redeeming himself.
A sizable chunk of people know who the fuck I am, what the fuck I do, etc. And I decide I'm going to use that to get on that guy with the glasses, because I'm a big Nostalgia Critic fan. I'm watching his shit all the time. I'm thinking to myself, I want to be on this site.
TJ reveals, nearly a decade later, how much of an understatement this was.
Like the Nostalgia Critic. There's no way to, present it any other way. It'd be dishonest to. Like, this is Doug.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to.
And this is me as the distressed watcher.
Hello, I am the Distressed Watcher. I review the previews and let you know which trailers are failures.
I didn't know he did that at all. I had literally no idea. Are you going to play Oompa's game on stream, even the demo? Yeah, I will. Don't you worry about it. I will. I didn't know that he did a straight-up ripoff. Back in the day when there were, Randy in chat, you brought it up. When Angry Video Game Nerd got big, there were so many direct clones. I mean, the most notable one is the Irate Gamer, obviously, right? He was like kind of a really straight, direct ripoff. But there were other people back in the day, too, doing it. And the influence Angry Video Game Nerd had, like, cannot be overstated, really. He's the reason why so many other people came. Spoonie, well, Spoonie wasn't, didn't Spoonie kind of have his own spin? He kind of had his own thing, right? But like the existence of like JonTron and Scott the Woz, people like that, they exist because Angry Video Game Nerd did what he did. They didn't rip him off. They built their own brand. JonTron got bigger than Angry Video Game Nerd ever could be. Scott the Woz got pretty fucking big too, right? But back in the day, the Angry Video Game Nerd was like he was like a catalyst, okay? Angry Video Game Nerd to like game reviewers was what Leafy was to commentary channels. So much existed because of him.
By the way, that haircut that I have there, that was something I specifically got because I was on that guy with the glass. I'm like, I need to look more fucking respectable.
While creating content for that guy with the glasses, he still held his dreams of making his own website, and for that, he needed money.
I'm going to put a donation link over there, or maybe it'll be over there, I don't know, to the to the right-hand side of the video. So you can donate there if you want to help.
He's just a chill guy.
That was TJ asking for money to repair his current computer or just money to buy a new one. This on the internet is known as e-begging, and is hardly the first instance of TJ doing so. While this is very much a non-issue in the current creator space, in the 2000s, asking for donations or the like was frowned upon.
Extremely so. We just talked about this with the Patreon thing. Even like this is the you know, late 2000s, early 2010s, but even like as late as 2016, asking for donations was extremely frowned upon. It was like you're a fucking scumbag if you ask for donos. You're e-begging. You're nothing. Because the idea of YouTube being a job was so silly, right? The idea of paying for anything on the internet was so silly to everyone. Nobody wanted to pay for content. It still is. No, nobody cares now. You're retarded if you care. You're dumb. You're gay. You're wrong. So many streamers make money off of it. I've never given anyone money, nor will I. Well, enjoy that. But, you know, nobody cares anymore, bro. Nobody cares.
This came from a space that was largely free of monetized content, and the progression towards creators being influenced by monetary gain was a fear brought about by various things, like the fear of being scammed or the regulation of the internet to appease advertisers and create a space with heightened censorship, which TJ was also requesting money to fight against.
Check that fucking check that box, dog. Look. Right there up at the top, right there. Fucking second tab. Who fuck?
I don't know how anybody can handle Nostalgia Critic for more than 20 seconds. So irritating. I never watched Nostalgia Critic back in the day when I was younger. So maybe I would have liked him back then or something. By the time I found out who he was and what he was doing, I was already like 17 years old. And I think I saw his shit and I was like, this shit's fucking gay. This is cringe. Maybe back then I would have liked it. You know, a lot of that stuff is kind of product of its time. I'm sure there's stuff he's done that's impressive in those videos he's done that are good. But I just never, you know, respect to him as an old head on the internet, but I never liked his shit at all. I was just never into it. You know, I was a little old by the time I found out about him to enjoy it.
Donated what?
For a $50,000.
Fuck you, that bitch! Fuck you, bitch!
What's his name? What's his name?
Austin? Who the fuck is Austin? Austin, you a fucking bitch.
That was from a 2009 fundraising livestream on Block TV for free speech vids. TJ and his friend, Fake Sagan, were yelling at a viewer for donating a measly $1. This is hardly what the infamous stream is remembered for. Much of the stream cannot...
If that happened now, there'd be a Moist Critical video about it. This is the same thing as the Bad Bunny clip where she's like, $5? You don't have $5? $5? There'd be a Moist Critical video like, hey guys, just want to talk about this really cringe e-beggar today. He was asking his audience for money, which is honestly perfectly fine, but then he decides to shit on his audience for donating $1. Honestly, it's kind of disgusting. Like, just not everybody has money to give, you know? To beg for money in the first place and then complain about the fact you got $1 and act like it's nothing. $1 goes a long way. $1 goes a long way for a lot of people, man. This is really cringe and gay. Anyway, see ya.
Not be shown, but it can be described. All participants in the livestream are intoxicated through drinking Everclear. These are TJ, his friend Fake Sagan, and his friend Galen, who is allegedly hosting them. A few things happen, like Fake Sagan and TJ making out, drinking a bit more, asking for donations, etc. Then Holly, TJ's significant other, and Ocean, Fake Sagan's significant other, come back from their walk. It is then that Ocean gives Fake Sagan his gun back, as she took it on the walk, assumedly as a deterrent.
You put one in the chamber? Did you put one in the chamber? Why me?
I didn't have to use it.
There is one in the fucking chamber.
This is where the train wreck truly begins. Just 7 minutes after getting his gun back, Fake Sagan unloads a magazine to point out the hollow points that are loaded in, puts the magazine back in, and then cocks the gun. There are some attempts to get the gun away, but those are unsuccessful. And so Fake Sagan uses the weapon as a threat to blow the webcam away if more donations do not come in. Then, he puts the gun up against his dome and shows that the safety is off. Things de-escalate as Galen strategically has to take the place in front of the camera, where a bit after, TJ attempts to take the gun away.
Who is this motherfucker?
Fuck you! Fuck you!
It's the same guy!
Case, just fucking... Case, give me...
Man, playing with a loaded gun is such a bad idea, bro. Such a fucking bad idea. Someone told me a story not that long ago about one of their friends from like high school who they were hanging out. They were just having, you know, fucking around, getting drunk. And one of them picked up a gun to, you know, be like, haha, I'm going to shoot myself, right? Haha, it's loaded. And little did they know it was actually loaded, and it blew their head off. That kid died. It's, you know, there's another case like that that happened with some cosplay girl. I think she was fucking around with her boyfriend's gun. I covered this in one of my videos. She was messing around with her boyfriend's gun, and her other female friend accidentally shot herself in the head and blew her brains out. Don't fuck around with guns, dude. Always practice proper firearm safety, please.
Give me a gun. Ugh. Give me that shit.
No, I'm good. No, don't take this. You ain't trained.
Fake Sagan then tries to be a bit more serious about fundraising and brings up 1984.
I mean, let's say you wake up tomorrow and some 1984 shit. Hold on.
Did you just take out his teeth?
1984 shit.
What did you just take out? What did you just take out of his face? Was that his did he take out his teeth? What did he do there? Was it his grill? His sick grill?
And y'all motherfuckers, you gotta toe the party line. You gotta love Big Brother the way you love yourself. If you even want to have a voice.
Talking about Civil War, right? Jeez.
I mean, do you care about free speech at all?
Fake Sagan gets a bit off track and then starts talking about himself, expressing his insecurities, and as such becomes furious at TJ for what he believes was him scoffing at him.
I'll tell you why right now. I was more interested in fucking getting laid and fucking smoking pot than going to class. I didn't care. I was like, fuck it. This is my life. Why shouldn't I live it the way?
Man, I was just interested in banging girls and smoking weed. Getting high and getting high off sex. That's my life, bro.
I was born in Richmond, Virginia, right? I was broke as shit. I grew up in Connecticut.
Fuck that. This is mine. Go ahead. Sorry.
Shut up. Damn. Oh, it's all yours. Fuck you.
Whoa.
What? I hear you.
This guy's unhinged.
Oh, he was coughing.
I found a little fucking.
I'm trying to make some fucking money for you. Come on.
Go on, man. It's cool.
Fine. Then shut the fuck up.
I ain't saying shit. Go ahead.
All right, listen.
I'm eating.
With TJ silenced, Fake Sagan proceeds with a speech where he gets increasingly frustrated at those around him.
Raised in Southington, Connecticut, amongst a bunch of rich-ass motherfuckers who didn't think I was good enough. Who thought...
This guy is so edgy, bro. Grew up around a bunch of rich people who didn't think I was good enough, but I proved them wrong, man. I'm on the Amazing Atheist live stream right now, begging for money, drinking Everclear, and playing with a loaded gun. I made it. They didn't think I'd be shit. Now I do. I work on CNC machines. I'll fucking rock, dude.
Because I couldn't afford the latest fucking shit, the latest fucking fashions from the Gap and motherfuckers. They thought I wasn't fucking good enough. And Ocean, please.
Shut the fuck up.
Haven't I done enough for you? Please.
He's so mad.
After failing a second time to conduct a moving speech, Fake Sagan flashes his testicles at an unimpressed chat. Fake Sagan then tries to bring his gun back on stream.
Okay, so this was definitely not on YouTube. You usually don't get away with that intentionally, you know. Maybe you'll get away with that if you're you get away with that if you're like iShowSpeed, you know, a little bit of a slip and you got 10 million subs, but you don't get away with this on YouTube normally. It's so wheezy. Why do you keep saying your respect is going up? What about this made your respect go up? The balls or the gun?
The problem is he can't find it.
Get off the seat, man. Hold on.
Where's my gun?
I hid that shit because fucking Holly was scared. So.
Where's it at?
I'll tell you tomorrow, man.
Tell me now. I'm afraid.
It's fucking back there somewhere. I don't know.
Where specifically?
It's fucking... The two girls fucking... Ask them, man. They saw me do it. If you get out...
Holly and Ocean, where's my gun at?
Where's my gun? Yeah, that's never a good question to be asking. If you have a gun at a stranger's house, you should always probably... Well, not a stranger, but if you bring a gun over to your friend's house, if it's loaded, you should probably always know where it is. You should probably always know what's going on. Don't lose a gun while you're drunk. I mean, don't lose a gun ever, but don't lose a gun while you're drunk especially.
I don't know. They saw...
Oh yeah, Repsion in chat. You did you know the Amazing Atheist back in the day at all? What's the deal there? Because we saw you in the one of the videos here. It was one of the anti-SJW like questions for white people videos about BuzzFeed. About his cannibalism fetish. Is that real? Repsion? Do you have some lore to drop here, Mr. Repsion? The first rule of gun safety is to always have fun. That's true. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Most people don't know that. Most people don't know that.
Why?
They're lying to you, man.
You're lying. Thinks I'm a fucking punk in this motherfucker. Where's my fucking gun at?
I don't know.
Back behind the
I
barrel.
can't
there.
see right here.
Behind the barrel?
Fuck, if I knew, I would have it in my hand.
You know what's gonna happen if I find out you're lying? It's behind the barrel. Are you telling the truth?
Well. If it isn't Mr.
How's it
Repsion.
going? Oh, don't call me Mr. Repsion. There's no Mister.
You're
That's
Mr.
so old school.
Repsion.
No, it's not Mister. I haven't had Mister in front of my name for fucking like
Are you
6
Mrs.
years.
Are you Mrs. Repsion now?
I mean, with my haircut and how much I'm losing my hair, probably. So the people call me.
Mrs. Repsion.
So what do you want to know on TJ lore? Because we've hung out quite a few different times IRL, and I haven't hung out with him I haven't seen him talk to him in over like 6 years. So it's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
But
I guess I'm just curious, like, I mean, what was it like? Like, when you met him, like, what was,
well, he
I guess,
didn't stink.
okay, I get, that's good. I guess we'll start with just like when
He's fucking huge, by the way. So
he's huge?
He's like, I don't mean, he's tall, like 6 foot, like not, he's like almost 7, he's a giant. Like,
Really?
He's fucking huge. I could not believe how tall he was when I met him.
How did you meet him? Just through YouTube stuff?
So he was kind of pivotal back in the day. I need to clarify. I'm not close with him anymore. But back in the day, I took a lot of inspiration from him through his atheistic content because I was a Christian edgy little boy, and I converted out of religion. And a lot of his old religion videos kind of inspired me. He was definitely a crux for like me converting out of religion. This was like fucking 12 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. Or longer than that by now. And I commented on one of his videos. He made a video like against Christianity, and I commented something. I don't even remember what it was, but it was something along the lines of like, hey, you really made me think differently about a perspective. And from that, he like kind of just friended me. And this is back when YouTube had the ad feature where you could actually add people.
Yeah.
This is back when we had like 5-star ratings on the YouTube rating system. What, you're 22? I don't even, were you even around for that? I don't know.
I
old as shit.
I remember it like happening. I know that it was a thing. Like I remember when you could I was on YouTube right before they got rid of the messaging feature, I think.
Yeah, there was messaging. You could even like customize your YouTube layout with HTML shit, almost like a MySpace profile back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So he hit me up, and we just started talking like generally, and I liked his content because I've always been a really open-minded person. And as I converted out of religion, he was just really an important part of like that transition out of religion. And we talked a lot, and then eventually like we met up. We did not screw, even though people
Nobody even asked that.
No, I'm just throwing it out there because I know people.
Well, now you're making me think you did. What did you do is the real question. If you didn't fuck him in the ass, what did you do?
Yeah, no banana in the butt, right? So I did a charity like live stream thing with there's old podcast called The Drunken Peasants back in the day, and they had like a dominatrix, and like the woman like beat all of us for like money, and then we had to do like this contest of like trivia, and if we got things wrong, she hit us with a whip and a bunch of weird shit, but it was for a good cause, I suppose. Super cringy shit back in the day, but and then I met up with him again. He was in Seattle. He was doing a podcast meetup, IRL stuff with his podcast, and I hung out with them and smoked weed, and people kept asking him to bitch slap me. I was like, sure, for content, why not? I think if you actually type bitch slap on YouTube, Amazing Atheist, it will pop up. I think it has like 100,000 views or something.
I will look that up, actually. Hold on. Bitch slap Amazing Atheist.
And type Repsion in it. It should pop up. I think it's on his channel or
Mr. Repsion. Mrs. Repsion.
It's a weird situation. But even before...
This is real.
Even
what the
before...
hell?
Yeah, it's fucking real.
Did he really go for it?
Yeah, it fucking hurt as shit.
Let's see. We're pulling this up right now.
I was so fucking
he took his
high,
glasses
dude.
off for it. Oh, you slapped him. But he slapped you first.
Me.
It looks like I just watched a video of you slapping him. I watched it happen. It's real.
So stupid, dude.
All right. So you guys met. Was it just like mostly positive experiences? I mean, he doesn't seem like a horrible guy.
No, I didn't have any negative experiences with him at all. He's definitely weird. And like we talked about like religion and like our upbringing and stuff. It was really, I don't know, it was a cool experience. Like, you know, I got to meet somebody who at the time, years back, you know, helped me convert out. I'm not close to him anymore. I don't have contact. We still follow each other. We're mutuals on socials. But the weird thing is like, he was always into cannibalism. Like he would, when we would talk on Skype and stuff, he would randomly like send me pictures of like gigantic asses and talk about like physically eating butts like a cake, right?
No, you were a freak.
It was
okay.
weird.
Whoa.
It was really weird. And I was still kind of like just coming out of Christianity, so I didn't really know how to fucking respond to that shit. I don't know, like, okay, this person's clearly has a thing about like eating peoples and flesh and stuff. I don't know. It was weird. Super, super weird. But it was never like inappropriate or anything. Like I was, you know, over the age of 18 and stuff, but it was just weird. Like, I don't know. I don't even know why he would talk to me about that stuff, but he would just like randomly send shit.
Yeah. I mean, he sounds like he's in a different realm there. I mean, maybe he just, you know, maybe he's just hungry. I mean, he's a big guy, you know, he's got to eat a lot. He's just a hungry guy.
I mean, to each their own, right? If you're not hurting nobody, it's weird, but who the fuck cares, right?
Yeah, I mean, like eating a person like doesn't really hurt them that bad. Like it's fine. It's like whatever.
Yeah, you know, I bite my mouth all the time. Yummy.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for hopping on. I do appreciate it. I do want to bring up the fact that you came in here. You started off by saying that he's a very big guy. You then immediately denied having sex with him. So I don't know. There's something going on there. I'm just saying. You were like, he's really big. I just want to make it clear he's really big.
People always speculate. That's the thing is people always speculated before.
Oh, I'm not speculating. I know. I know.
They totally did it. I'm like, ugh.
It's fine, dude. It's you can come out. He squished you. It's 2024. He can squish you all he wants. It's cool, man.
All right, you have a good rest of your night, man.
All right, you too. All right. We got some testimony from the deep state. Tom is my favorite cis transracial black Albanian Mongolian transgender athlete. Please bring back the OnlyFans. I will do that right away. I'll do that right away. And hey, representation is important. I'm glad I can represent you. Okay. Would you rather get a sticky footy from Chris Tyson or Mike Tyson? Probably Mike Tyson because his teeth would be involved in some way because he has a biting fixation. That's what I would say about that. Supposedly human tastes like pig equals human is a long pig. Well, I'm definitely the longest pig out there. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I think they had gay sex or maybe straight sex because it is Mrs. Repzion, but I think they had gay sex personally. That's my thoughts on that.
With the gun back in fake Sagan's possession, he decides on holstering it. Now the party moves on to checking donations.
$3.33.
Oh, fuck. $100.
Fuck you for $3, you fucking...
$10.
$100 for fake. You got $100.
And...
With the party being unhappy with the donations, fake Sagan rearms himself with a flip knife, placing the prize to use it on himself to $200. But this is interrupted with him yelling at his girlfriend Ocean to shut up.
You'll see a fucking Grand Canyon across this cheek. Shut up! Shut up! Listen, $200.
You're telling me Mr. Repzion met up with all these guys and he didn't have gay sex? I just don't buy it personally. I just personally don't buy it, okay? It happened. We're here and we're queer. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right now!
Fake Sagan, to prove himself, cuts the back of his hand. But the cut is deeper than he planned as it keeps on bleeding.
I choose liberty.
Just give me this. Holy shit, honey.
I know it's deep.
Fuck your shit up.
Can we have to take him to the hospital?
No, he's good. He's fine, man. He'll be alright.
Call 911.
Bleeding. I'm stopping the bleeding.
I don't want them to find what's in my fucking truck.
Cut.
I know it is, but...
I don't want them to find what's in my truck. What is in his truck? What is in his truck? What is in there? Come on. What's going on here?
Please, please.
I'm not calling the
He said he wants to take care of you so we don't have to, honey.
About 6 minutes pass with his wound haphazardly bandaged. Fake Sagan remarks on how dizzy he is feeling, but continues to go on his tirades. It is here that a moderator of Blog TV steps in and cuts the broadcast. This stream, or more so the clips of it, made the rounds on YouTube as straight dope covers.
What occurred that night was a truly pathetic display of recklessness and irresponsibility.
True!
As Fakey's true colors were brought to the surface by the magic of alcohol.
We're gonna get drunk on camera, and we're going to make fools of ourselves.
By now, most of you have probably seen the segments that have been reproduced on YouTube about 5 dozen times. But now it's time for the straight dope.
The straight dope, dude. The straight dope. Man, that era of YouTube aesthetics was good, but I have a preferred era of YouTube stuff. I like the old gaming intros people used to have, okay? I feel like if you go on any old gaming channel, they would have a really cool intro back in the day. There is one that I really like in particular that, you know, people just aren't woke to it. I've tried to tell people, like, do you remember this channel? Not a lot of people do, but it is one of my favorite channels of all time. I just feel like more people need to talk about this in particular. It is my favorite channel. It was really good. I don't know what happened to it or why it was taken down. I can't imagine any reason why that would happen, but it was a great channel while it was around. It was great while it was around, okay?
Free Speech Vids, as was its fundraising venture, was an utter failure that went nowhere. That much cannot be said about TJ's channel that was still skyrocketing with his constant uploads on various subjects.
I eat right.
Though TJ did film some skit videos with a focus on food, he was really gravitating towards content satirically criticizing people for their age, food preference, or job. Here is a segment from his video on teens.
Teenage girls are pretty annoying. They're always giggling maniacally at shit that isn't even vaguely fucking funny. Not to mention they dress so slutty, and you're not supposed to look at them. There's a segment in society that if you look at those giant, luscious
I think he might have been running that channel. You never know.
teenage breasts, will say, oh, you're a pervert and a pedophile, and you're ogling children. Bullshit. Children do not have D-cup tits.
TJ.
Okay. Dude. Okay, bro. Look. To each their own, I guess. I don't know. You just old YouTube was something else, okay? Something beautiful was happening there, and that is the peak manifestation of it, okay? A 30-year-old guy, or maybe he was 25 then, I don't know. It's hard to tell how old he is, but an adult man talking about teenage breasts. That is peak YouTube. It is what it is, I guess.
Struck gold in this 2011 video.
I fucking started realizing like atheist content was getting stale for me, and I made a video that was entitled "It's Only Sexist When."
Yeah, Repsion in chat. Old YouTube, you could say anything and make money. That's the thing. That video was probably monetized. The video was probably monetized back in the day before the yellow dollar sign it was implemented from the adpocalypse. You could just say anything you wanted on YouTube, fully monetized. He probably made it. He probably made a couple bands off that one video alone, dude.
Men do it, and it was about. It wasn't The View. It was like a knockoff version of The View with Ozzy's wife,
I remember that video.
Sharon Osbourne.
Yep.
And it was basically, and I stand by everything I said in the video. I think it was very hypocritical the way they were like celebrating a dude getting his dick cut off and thrown in the garbage disposal. And like, if a bunch of men were sitting around talking about this, you know, a woman's tits being cut off and that done to, you know, people would be horrified.
I don't know the circumstances. I don't know why he filed for divorce. I don't know what was going on between them. However, I do think it's quite fabulous. I mean, can you just imagine that thing whizzing around the disposal? It's like...
As the title suggests, TJ's main gripe with this video was the double standard in that the hosts were okay with male mutilation as a joke, but not the flip side of things, as one of the co-hosts brings up.
This is why I can't fucking take feminism seriously. I just can't. I can't take it seriously.
That's messed up. Yeah, I mean, in fairness, they were joking about it, but it's also Sharon Osbourne. I mean, I don't know. The Ozzy Osbourne family, I would imagine, might be a little bit twisted. Maybe a little bit twisted, I would imagine. I'm thankful I haven't seen that original video, but I mean, they were joking. He probably is right that they wouldn't find it funny if it was the opposite. If it was a woman getting hurt in that way in film, they probably wouldn't like it. He probably is right about that. This is the rage era. This is the rant era. They didn't used to call it commentaries. Okay, you have to understand. The meta back then was the rant. Welcome to my new rant. DJ Rants. TJ Rants. If I had a YouTube channel back then, if I was born 10 years earlier, my YouTube channel would have been called Turkey Tom Rants. I would have been ranting, okay?
Because they don't address things like this. They want to talk about the disparities between the genders, but they never want to talk about this shit. They want to pretend like this doesn't exist, or it's all isolated incidences. It's not an isolated incident when an entire audience of women are all laughing about a man getting his dick chopped off when the reverse would never
fucking happen?
This video sits as his 8th most popular video, but
He's
TJ
mad.
believes its cultural impact is far more powerful than it leads on.
Rant Sona. Yeah, I had a Rant Sona. We can make a new Rant Sona, though. Hold on. We'll make a new Rant Sona real quick. All right. Let's make my Rant Sona, guys. All right. Here we go, guys. We'll start with a beak. All right. He's got to be pissed the freak off. This is going to be the Turkey Rants channel coming soon. Okay. Have the eyes. Drawing with a mouse is crazy. He's got to have the gobbler, obviously. Now, he'll still have my hair, but it'll be more anime and epic, okay? That's like kind of more anime type thing, I would say. All right, there's the bottom of his head will be here. All right. So this is his head, okay? Now we've got to keep going because he needs to have a full body, but he needs to be kind of epic. So we'll give him a little neck here, okay? Now he's got to have kind of a mad disposition, kind of an angry disposition. He also has to be jacked, just like me in real life. So we'll do that. Let's see here. How we can do the arms. The arms will be like this. They'll be like folded arms. So this is the bottom of the arm. Hold on. You got to be more jacked again. Bolder shoulders, obviously. Big ass bicep right here. His other arm is going to be down here. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Well, that's got to be... You fold your arms. Okay, so this arm's got to extend over more. There we go, chat. All right. I have one hand here. He does have normal hands because he's a human bird type thing. His other arm will come down here. All right. Now this arm... Oh, we kind of fucked this up. We'll put it here. He's kind of upset. He's kind of angry. He's kind of mad, okay? You have his pecs over here. All right. So he's got to have a shirt on that is just bulging because of his muscles. All right. He's going to come down here. But he's got to have like his like turkey thing going on. Like this. Yeah, that sort of thing. There we go. Okay. Wait, does he know how to draw? This new gen followers, man. I've been subbed since the Turkey Tom Trap video. People don't understand. People don't understand that I'm the most talented YouTuber of all time, okay? That's what they don't get. They'll never get it. I'm the GOAT. All right, there we go. Now he's going to have some shorts on, but it's going to be like... His tail will be like busting out because he like transformed recently. Those ripped pants. All right, there we go. He's got to have a big bulge, obviously. Lots of shadow on that bulge too, to make everyone know what's going on. Okay. Here's his turkey legs. Kind of look like carrots though. Hold on. Yeah, it's gonna be more like that. Is this your persona? No, this is my Rant Sona. All right, so we've got that. He's going to need like a sign, like a few signs for sure. All right. So we'll have like one sign here that says like, so the first sign, like an anti-Christian sign. Okay. And the second sign will be like an anti-feminism sign. What is the female sign? What does it look like? Female, male signs. So the female one is, okay, the female one's like that. So we're going to have like this is like the female sign. All right. You have a big X drawn right through it though, because it means heck off. Heck the freak off. Wait, that's, yeah, like this, so we can still see it. There we go. All right, and on this sign, we're going to have a cross. This is kind of a those who know type thing. All right, so those are my robot arms. And we'll put Turkey. What does a Turkish flag look like? Turkish flag. All right, so it's like that, okay? So I have Turkey, and then it'll be like rants, but it'll be like on fire. Rants will be like on fire. This just makes him anti-Christian, anti-Muslim. No, he's pro-Muslim. He's pro-Muslim. He hates Christianity, but he loves Muslims. That's the thing about Turkey Rants. He's controversial. His takes don't come from one place. His takes come from all over, okay? He's a well-rounded individual with takes you wouldn't expect. He doesn't adhere to political parties. That's the male sign? No, it's not. Is it? Yeah, he is an enlightened centrist. That's true. He is actually, though. Like, that's what I really am. I'm an enlightened centrist kind of guy. I don't have enough space for the S. It'll just be Turkey Rant. That's fine. We'll have the S over here. The implication of the S. It's got to start a little higher. Fuck. The end of the S will be on fire here. All right, so the S is behind there. You can imagine where it is, okay? So this is Turkey Rants. You did the wrong... Did I do the wrong sign? Well, it's actually because I was a feminist. That's what you didn't expect. Because you expected me to have one belief, but I actually have many different ones. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Turkey Rants, dude. Oh, you can't see the gun? Hold on. There it is, dude. Turkey Rants. My new channel. This is my new Sona. Hope you guys like it. I'm starting it really soon. It's going to be happening soon. When being a normal dude is a radical take, dude. True. Fucking real. So yeah, this is a new channel. I'm deleting everything, and this is going to be my new thing. Hope you guys like it. It's coming pretty soon, you know? It'll be cool. It'll be cool. Where's the diaper? That's a great question. How do you draw a diaper? Like an adult diaper? Don't they usually, in cartoons, they always have like a paper clip in it to like hold it together as if diapers have a paper clip in real life? There's my diaper. That's my diaper. That's just underwear. I don't know how to draw a diaper. We're an armband with a Buddhist manji symbol. That's true. More bulge. He's got enough bulge. That's good. This is cool. This is good. This is what I am. This is what I am, dude. Okay? This is my new channel. I'm debating just a robot. I'm debating SJWs and feminazis and also chuds. I don't like feminists or chuds. That's the thing about me. I don't like feminists and I don't like chuds. That's the thing. So just keep that in mind here.
I don't think that you can find a better catalyst in YouTube history for there being this jumping off point of now there's all this anti-SJW content coming out, you know? I didn't coin the term anti-SJW or SJW for that matter, but I think I invented the genre. And as the inventor of the genre, I have to say I despise the genre at this point.
TJ did start...
Do you think God doesn't come down from heaven because he's afraid of what he's created?
Leading more to, as it were, anti-SJW content, but before that was him being removed from the That Guy With The Glasses website and Bananagate. His removal from That Guy With The Glasses website was an inevitability. The fact that the site primarily buried new uploads to promote the Nostalgia Critic, despite the potential these new uploads may have, influenced TJ to not care about making quality content for the website. However, the last straw for them was a video about the top 10 gayest music videos of the 80s, which the website refused to upload and was a
top 10 gayest music videos of the 80s. I can't think of any 80s music videos, honestly, that I like really like. We Didn't Start the Fire, was that in the 80s? That's a decent one. What's that song? It's like, I don't even know what the music video is or who makes it. It's like, Josie's on a vacation far away. What's that song? Na 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 na. Na 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 na. You know I like my girls a little bit older. The Outfield, is that it? The Outfield, dude. That's a good song. Whatever that is. I don't want to lose your love tonight.
I got even more just like who gives a fuck. I started missing deadlines left and right. And basically, at some point, I was just called into a meeting with like the head honchos of That Guy With The Glasses. And they told me, you know, your stuff is kind of dark. You do this stuff, The Amazing Atheist, and
every time I close my eyes,
advertisers, and we're really more trying to be, you know, a mainstream company, and you're a little bit out there.
TJ's removal was easily overshadowed by
Bananagate.
Behold the atheist's nightmare. Notice how gracefully it sits over the human hand.
This is such a funny funny rebuttal, especially because I'm pretty sure bananas in the current form we have them were partially genetically engineered, not through like any kind of lab shit, but through just like selective breeding. In the same way that like corn originally was like a kind of a different thing, but then through farming and like breeding the genes together in certain ways in South America, they made corn to be a certain way.
Notice has a point at the top for ease of entry. It's just the right shape for the human mouth.
Do you want to see?
I don't want to see anything.
Do you want to see the banana like afterward?
No.
How about before?
No.
It says so gently over the hand.
Chocolate. He says it's chocolate syrup.
I need to go put it in a pizza. Stop it. Ruining my appetite.
Wait, he said it's chocolate syrup. That's not poop.
He's shoving it.
I remember the way I found out about this video was through an amazing, through a Colossal is Crazy video. Because Colossal is Crazy made a video about The Amazing Atheist. Yeah, this video.
Drop it.
That was fire. Fire intro. Yeah, this part.
Moving around 3 separate viruses from various gay sites, I pretty much gave up. However, I have got some lovely pictures for you.
Okay. It's over. Okay. All right. Back to watching the video.
Banana inside his asshole. Oh my god. This is disgusting. What the fuck?
He's
No!
a person.
Shut the fuck up.
He's a person.
That is so gross, dude. I don't want to hear any more about it.
Why can't you just respect that he's an atheist?
Dude, I don't care.
Yeah,
if he's
true.
an atheist or not. What I care about is that.
Respect that he's an atheist, dude. He's an atheist, all right? If you're an atheist, you can put the banana up your butt, dude. You can do it.
A video of TJ gripping a banana with more than just his hand was making its rounds on the internet.
A highly personal video of mine leaked onto the internet, and I have no right to complain. Further, the things depicted in the video and photo that leaked are things that I did and enjoyed at the request of a girl that I knew and was talking to at the time.
He sent it to a girl? I didn't know that. He sent it to a girl? What sick, twisted woman wanted him to put a banana up his butt? What sick, twisted femoid wanted him to put a banana up his butt and drip oil on his hot dog and send that? What girl? There's no way. This is a lie, dude. There's no way. There's literally no way this is the case, dude. I'm sure she was very appreciative. Yeah, I'm sure she loved it. But I thought he uploaded it to the hub, or did she upload it to the hub? What girl wanted this?
Time. In fact, a girl that I still talk to. I sent it to a few other girls that I talked to on the side, and apparently one of them decided to share it with the world.
He sent it to multiple women? So he's rizzing. He has his main hoe, his main 304. And then he's got these other girls he's also sending it to. Jesus. Dude, what a great idea. You just don't get shit like this anymore. You don't get videos of people putting bananas up their butt. It doesn't happen, man. We don't get videos of YouTubers putting bananas up their ass, dripping oil on their dick, explaining on YouTube why they sent it. Of course she did. Why wouldn't she share it? Yeah, exactly. What else would you expect to happen here? Owning up to it's based? I mean, I guess. At least he didn't deny it. He doesn't seem embarrassed. He's like, yeah, I did it. It's based. It would probably be worse if he denied it.
I don't know who it was, nor do I really care. The things that I did because I enjoy them. I wasn't ashamed of them when I was doing them in private. I see no reason to be ashamed of them now that they've been made public. I mean, let's face it here. I am and always have been a fucking weirdo. 90% of you, if you really thought about it, would have been able to figure out that I was doing some weird shit like this in my spare time in the first place.
I mean, I get... Oh, he's eating the banana? Dude, no.
That was TJ.
Dude, maybe I'm a bad judge of character. I wouldn't have been able to figure it out. I wouldn't have known that. I mean, I could have guessed maybe there was some kind of, you know, a lot of YouTubers sex people, but this is like another level. This is another level. Putting a banana up your butt? That's not typical. Also, did the banana, like, this is a crazy thought. I shouldn't be thinking this. Did the banana, like, break off? Because bananas are, like, wouldn't the sphincter close on it and some of the banana would be inside? You so freaky ass! I don't know. Dude, I'm getting too deep here. I'm getting too deep with the questions. I'm getting way too deep. Thank you, Payday, for the dono. Have you ever read the shit dildo green text? No, I don't. I probably can't read that on YouTube if I had to guess. Dude, what is that picture of Pepe, bro? What is that?
His response, and this is how the response was essentially received.
Now what? And that's where he stands with his fans, and you know what? He's probably got 10 times more respect from his fans for doing what he did. People that want to act like he's going to be buried for this, people, he did nothing but solidify his fan base and gain more loyalty because of what he did.
That's true, dude. There's this weird phenomenon where, like, YouTubers who get outed for this shit, if they just own it, they're fine. Unless, I guess, their whole like grift is like shitting on people for it. But even at that, I feel like most fans actually don't even care. They just think it's funny. Solidify, yeah, solidify like the banana. Pyro, yeah. There have been multiple YouTubers who have been outed for just having some weird fucked up fetish, and the fans just find it endearing if they admit it. Tom, as a certified boy kisser, that banana wouldn't break. Okay, thank you, Sticks, for your in-depth knowledge on that. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you. It would have been way worse if he tried to deny that it was him or say that it was, I don't know, it was hacked. I guess now he could just be like, it's all deep faked. That's literally what he could do, but man. Dude.
This is true.
Chris Tyson. Well, Chris Tyson was you know, that's not exactly just like I mean, as funny as the banana thing is, it is a relatively harmless thing. Chris Tyson was not into, you know, some harmless thing.
TJ addressed the leaked video phenomenally well. So well that there was a notable jump in subscribers because of it. This goodwill would only last for so long as two events brought things down. The first was his newest attempt at a website known as Not Productive.
What our site is about...
I feel like I remember this, notproductive.com. I feel like I actually have a vague memory of using this website at one point. Or at least knowing of the link. What is notproductive.com? When you put a banana in your butt, but you're just a chill guy boofing some potassium. Shut up! No! No, dude. I will not allow this meme to permeate. No.
Is bringing you new talent, bringing you people who make videos that are of substantial quality that you've not heard of, that you're not subscribed to. It takes the approach of we are going to filter content and we're going to aggregate it based on its quality. And please, contribute below.
This was influenced by his removal of that guy with the glasses.
Well, you know, they don't want me, so I'm just going to do my own different, maybe slightly edgier version of Channel Awesome called Not Productive. And that was a big fucking debacle. Never could put it together. Couldn't keep content creators happy for it. Couldn't get a fucking functional web page for it. Couldn't manage the whole thing. And I didn't know at the time that, you know,
TJ goes on to describe how the overwhelming nature in managing the business side of the website led to its demise. Its failure for him was scarring.
Biggest personal failure I've had on YouTube was my attempt to do the whole not productive thing. Pissed a lot of people off because I raised, like 20 grand or something to do it and couldn't get a functional web page together, couldn't get good talent together, just a total miserable fucking failure.
This is the thing, like doing a fundraiser for a business, unless you have a lot of experience with that kind of business and you're already like running it somewhat successfully, it's usually a bad idea. Usually it's good to start on any business, but especially on YouTube, with something that takes very little investment, and then you slowly ramp it up over time. Like every channel I've ever done has started with basically no investment, right? Like low investment. And then slowly over time, you build it up to the point where you can consistently pay people because it's making money, right? It's usually a bad idea to invest a bunch of money into a business before you even know if it works or if there's any profit model for it. I say too much. It is the case though. Now, $20,000 seems like a lot of money to start anything, right? Seems like a lot of money. And I'm surprised he wasn't able to get a functional website for 20 grand, but I will say that if he was doing video hosting on it, video hosting is really expensive, so that's kind of difficult to do. And on top of that, not only is video hosting expensive, but getting actual people committed to a project like this is very difficult. Getting talent to be on board with doing a project and paying them consistently is like very tough to do. If you want somebody who actually has skills, you're probably going to need, keep in mind 20 grand was probably being split between a bunch of different people if you wanted this to be some kind of successful business. But when you take 20 grand, you spend like a few thousand on the website, and then with that 20 grand, you're splitting it among like 5 people for a month or 2 months even, right? Like ultimately that's not a lot of money per person for the work they're doing if you actually want it to work. And then on top of that, you have to figure out how to monetize the site itself, which I assume was a subscription-based model. Or if you have ads, people get annoyed with ads. So there's like a lot of annoying things that can come from this. I will say my editor made a great website. The Tom Dark editor is a web developer. He made a fucking fire website for me. And this thing is great. Okay. This is essentially my version of a link tree, right? But I didn't just want to have like a lame ass link tree that just links to my shit. So this is it's a nice put together website. It's got a contact form at the bottom. Okay. It links to the shop. It's got all this super swag. It's cool. Okay. You can click through all the channels, see what the latest uploads are. I'm very happy with this website. And not only that, it matches my channel aesthetic. Okay. Whenever you had a website. Yeah, I don't promote it that much. It's really just a collection of all my stuff. So you can just like go here if you want to see all the stuff I've uploaded lately, like from all the channels. But, yeah, it's pretty good. And it even links to the shop. You can switch it to light mode or dark mode. Okay, press the turkey button. You can play a little game on it. You guys may not know this. You can play a little game. You can destroy the elements of the website. How cool is that? A little bit of an Easter egg most people don't even know about. That's what the turkey button does. Accesses the cool ass game, okay? That's what's up, dude. That's what's up. But yeah, I do have a little empathy for him because definitely running something like this is tough. Honestly, the hardest part that I've found as far as like doing anything on YouTube is collaborative stuff with other creators. Working with editors can be difficult enough in the beginning, like training them and stuff like that. But what's really hard is getting like quote unquote talent to agree to a schedule when they're not getting paid right off the bat. That's really tough. And even if they are getting paid, a lot of people have their own priorities. So that's always been the hardest thing for me. Like I wanted to do an SMP thing a while ago. And ultimately it just fell apart because I was the only one consistently showing up. Other than that, it would just be like a revolving door of random people that would like maybe be here, maybe not. They wouldn't show up on time. They didn't really care about it, right? So that was kind of like a pain in the ass. So getting something like this together and dealing with like other people's schedules is such a pain in the ass.
That was just like a stain on me for a long time. Probably still is to this day in some people's eyes, but
2012 was not off to a good start, and it was bound to get worse because of what he deems was a flame war that spiraled out of control.
A flame war!
To start is this clip that exists outside of the flame war, but does explain TJ's thought process.
I was molested as a child.
What?
All right, I said it. As were many other people. And it was only a one-time thing, and I don't feel as though it psychologically damaged me, but the reason I want to talk about it is because now everyone else is going to think that is the case. That is something that has made me more what I am or whatever. I don't believe in the victim mentality.
I feel like you can't have that happen to you and not have it psychologically impact you in some way. You may not be aware of it, you may not be cognizant of it, but there's definitely, I feel like there's no way you're a kid and you get molested and like it doesn't actually psychologically affect you. That's impossible. Some people, when they get molested, they're psychologically affected to the point where they're identifying with their abuser and then they go on to abuse other people. That is what happens sometimes. Oh, what the hell? Someone already drew the cats that I drew? Look at this. Someone already drew the cats that I drew. That's fucking awesome. Dude, shout out to Poop Mock for doing some art of my cat characters, okay? That's fucking sick. That's awesome.
TJ has or had a different approach to those that had a similar thing happen to them. And to that, this flame war begins on the subreddit Shit Reddit Says. This subreddit was infamously known for brigading or sending its user base to link comments to downvote or take over the dialogue in other subreddits.
SRS, I'm pretty sure, is where Vosh came from. Vosh was an active user of SRS, and I think at the time SRS was like a very, even though the name wouldn't imply it, like you would think it would just be like some silly board for, or some silly board for like compiling funny posts from around Reddit. It became like a SJW kind of subreddit back in the day, and they would brigade a lot of people that they didn't like. Everything just ties back. It's such a small world online. It's so weird. Vosh came from the Destiny community. Yeah, but he originally came from SRS, and then he started going on to Destiny streams, and then, you know, obviously everything fell apart at a certain point, but this is actually where Vosh started from.
As was going on in this post, direct by poster I Come When I Kill Men. Here, TJ comments, quote, I love how the whiny feminist morality brigade upvotes a user named I Come When I Kill Men, unquote. It is also important to note that TJ dislikes when people use groups or their beliefs to be authoritarian.
And when these perspectives lay claim to being correct instead of just being one way of looking at things, that is when feminism becomes an authoritarian philosophy. If the variant of feminism in question is a relatively benign notion, such as people should all be treated equally and enjoy the same rights and privileges regardless of their sex or of their gender, then I take no issue with that. By that metric, I am and always have been a feminist.
As for the username TJ took issue with, he made a post about it on the men's rights subreddit.
Man, getting involved in Reddit arguments is never a good idea. Just never. It's never going to benefit you in any way. There's no point, especially if you're like a YouTuber. First of all, if you're an average user, do not be on Reddit arguing with people. Do not. Fucking do not do that. You are wasting your life away. Do not be on Reddit typing long, thought-out responses to other posts. This is wasting your life away. But secondly, if you're a YouTuber and you're arguing with people on Reddit, it's like, what a miserable existence. And it's just going to get like screenshotted and posted everywhere. It doesn't benefit you in literally any way. Do not be on Reddit. I don't think I've ever made a single actual post to Reddit to my knowledge. I'm not even sure if I've ever had a Reddit account. This is just such a bad idea. Do not do this.
It's brigaded and currently stands with 0 upvotes and 1,400 comments.
This is false. Collecting updates is the point. Yeah, but it's collecting updates for the sake of what? It's like, I'm going to respond to people and I'm going to accumulate a bunch of upvotes. For what? What do you actually, like, you look right on reddit.com? Is that really it, dude? Is that going to benefit you in any way? No, it's not. It's literally not. Like Nerd City. Yeah, Nerd City definitely is an example of that. I assume he, in retrospect, regrets arguing on Reddit with, like, the YouTube drama subreddit or people like that.
Sizable of a number as that is, some of these comments, primarily originating from TJ, have been removed. This string of the most infamous ones can be found archived in the original state on Imgur. This begins with a Reddit user that goes by Lord Ernie, arguing with TJ about triggers and begins escalating with Lord Ernie stating, quote, yeah, because you're scum. Also because you're not actually being triggered. Do you know any R-word victim? Statistically, you probably do. Do you happily make R-word jokes around them? TJ responds, I will make you a R-word victim if you don't fuck off.
Oh! Oh! TJ, what's going on, big guy? Dude, once again, like, you're just getting mad. You're just getting mad online. You're saying things you don't need to say. You're saying things you don't need to say. I mean, it's kind of a funny reply to leave, but like, bruh, you don't need to be proudly proclaiming how you're going to go gorilla mode on some Redditor. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Do not interact on reddit.com. Never. Not once. Not once.
TJ then posts again. That was a joke, by the way. Did it trigger you?
I'll make you a R-word victim if you don't fuck off. That was a joke, by the way. Did I trigger you? Did I trigger you, dude? Are you triggered? The triggered memes were too much, dude. The triggered memes were way too much, dude, back in the day. Do you remember, like, the, oh my god, I'm triggered, like the Ethan Klein triggered meme? Dude, this is just a different era, man.
I need to go on the news and talk about the sun as sexist.
Nothing's being done to help them, which I blame all on the AC.
I mean, the edit's kind of good, I'll say that.
It is men who control temperatures.
You know what, Sky News? Here you go. Take a sweater, dude.
It is men who control temperatures, bruh. It is men who control temperatures. Crazy. The sun is sexist. The thermostat is sexist, okay? Crank that thing up to 90 degrees so the hellspawn on Earth can enjoy their time.
I hope it did. Lordurni responds, I already am a R-word victim. And no, it didn't. Thanks, though. Hoping that people will relive some of the worst experiences of their lives is pretty cool of you, though. Real edgy. TJ then doubles down. Yeah, well, you deserved it. So fuck you. I hope it happens again soon. I'm tired of being treated like shit by you mean little redacted, and then using your R-word as an excuse. Fuck you. TJ goes on to say how he believes the person who committed the R-word deserves a medal, and hopes the victim drowns in certain white fluid, and then goes on to describe the act. Lordurni responds by stating that the person who committed the act was a woman, so some of these descriptions do not fit, and states was not using the act as an excuse, where TJ responds, quote, no, I'm not mad, I'm just trying to trigger you. It's not working, I guess, so I guess the whole triggering thing is bullshit after all, unquote.
I'm triggering the noobs on Reddit right now. They're so mad. I'm spending my personal time triggering people on Reddit instead of doing anything that might benefit me, and that is cool, okay? That is cool. My life, the precious moments I have on this earth are wasting away. I'm getting closer to death every second, and I'm spending my time, but I could be doing anything that might benefit me, arguing with feminists on Reddit. Yeah, good use of time.
Is an additional comment from TJ bringing up this act again, and alluding that Lordurni enjoyed remembering it. This string of comments inspired another post on Shit Reddit Says, and was spreading to other subreddits like Worst Of that were equally perturbed at what TJ had written. Quote, you know, normally I dismiss SRS as a collection of fundamentalist hysterics, but damn, he deserved all of that. Same, I was actually cheering them on for the first time. Unquote. TJ, during or after the process of arguing with Redditors, uploaded a video to it.
This is what I'm saying. Like, you get involved in these arguments, and eventually you start getting actually mad at them and wanting to, like, prove yourself right and look like the epic Chad. And you just end up looking fucking corny. The most quote-unquote Chad thing you can do, unironically in this situation, is be that fucking dog with his hands in his pockets. Be the chill guy dog, all right? If when it comes to Reddit, that's the one excuse I will give for when you should be the chill dog, all right? I'm taking it all back. I'm taking back the hatred. You need to imagine if he was just the dog. Imagine if he was just the dog, okay, in this situation, the chill dog. That would be way better than this. You can't let Reddit mentally affect you and get mad at it, okay? There are other things that are worth diverting your anger towards if you have that somewhere.
This channel.
I've spent the last 4.5 hours arguing with feminists on Reddit.
Dude. No! This should never be the position you're in. I know this is all old stuff, so I don't want to shit on TJ too much because this is like old shit. He was a lot younger then, you know, but man, you can't be spending your time arguing with feminists on Reddit. This is like the clip of all time. Or do an XQC and post yourself with a ton of money. Yeah, I guess at least that was funny, but even that, like, it's probably not advisable because it's just going to piss people off. You're probably just better off not responding.
Why? This video was removed, as were TJ's comments that he came to regret. Here he states he was wrong for making those comments and also addresses an article covering them. TJ also apologized to Lordurni in private, stating that what he did was genuinely out of line. Lordurni responds by stating that they would be more willing to accept the apology if it was made in a public space. TJ responds with, quote, I don't normally let other people bully me into doing whatever they want. Sorry. But a private apology is the best I'm willing to do. I have already publicly stated that what I said was wrong. Unquote. Lordurni then posts TJ's apology to Shit Reddit Says. The events labeled as Beard Apocalypse are also summarized in a post on Shit Reddit Says.
This is the thing too, like you get involved and then you have to like make an apology and then it like becomes a bigger thing and now years later it's in a June the King video with 300,000 views about your whole life, you know what I mean? Dude, this top comment literally, I've spent 4.5 hours arguing with feminists on Reddit is a time capsule statement. It's a time capsule of cringe, bro. Legitimately really sad to hear him talk about being molested and quickly start insisting that he's not a victim and it didn't damage him. Denial is a strong force. Yeah, I kind of feel bad for him for sure. But it's still like, bro, you just got to get off of Reddit. You can't be a Reddit atheist, man. This is not going to benefit you. Get off the forums, bro. Get off the forums and start making vids. Don't spend your time on this, man.
TJ has gone on to apologize several times for these comments.
I clumsily made an attempt to show my contempt for trigger warnings by saying the most graphically offensive things I could. It was 4 in the morning, and I was in the 5th or 6th hour of a massive flame war with radical feminists with names like Kill All Men. The next day, I realized...
What is this the actual picture he used for this video? Trigger warning with Leonardo DiCaprio from The Great Gatsby? Bruh. What a dated image, dude. What a dated, awesome image. This is something you get now and then, okay? You get a real gem, and this is certainly a gem. My roommate's constantly arguing on Reddit. I don't get it. Yeah, they're just wasting their life away. They need to stop. They need to find something better to do than be on Reddit at any point in time. Just stay off. Just stay off.
Realized how stupid the things I said were and how easily misinterpreted. And I apologized both to the person I said them to and to the internet at large. The person I said it to said they could only accept my apology if I closed down my YouTube channel and never posted my opinion publicly again. My comments were extremely poorly done, and they overshadowed the point I was trying to make, which is why I have apologized for them not just once, but several times. And I apologize again today, once more, for anyone who has been hurt by these comments. They went too far, and I deeply regret making such...
And this is the thing, too. Like, you're the edgy base guy, but then you go a little too far because you're actually mad at someone. You're not just making comments and jokes for the sake of making jokes. You're actually trying to hurt someone's feelings and trigger them. And then you have to apologize for it, and then it, like, undermines your entire... quote-unquote baseness to the people who would like you to double down in those comments. You know, it's a tough position to be in. Just such a fucking bad idea. You're forced to goon or argue with Reddit feminists. Which one do you pick? Unironically, just goon. Unironically, I'd rather masturbate for 12 hours straight. It would probably be way more productive because at least I would feel shame after. Arguing with Reddit feminists is just going to ruin your day. Ruin your entire life. At least I would get to come. Jesus.
Such statements.
This did influence a dip in subs, as well as continued coverage of what TJ said. But this hardly deterred him from covering the feminists he...
You get articles written about it? Man, just... You don't want articles written about your Reddit responses to a feminist victim. Just stop. Get off, bruh.
...did not like. Videos demonstrating some of their outrageous actions were making their rounds online.
Recently, there was a bit of a fiasco at the University of Toronto when a group of radical feminists pulled a fire alarm in order to stop a men's rights seminar in progress at the university. The fire alarm then goes off and the feminists cheer like banshees, ecstatic that they've used bully tactics to silence the opposing point of view.
This was hardly all that TJ was covering. Here he is doing a Let's Play. Here he is doing another video covering the Pope. And as seen in some videos, he was advertising...
Neckbeard Uprising? He wrote a book called Neckbeard Uprising. I didn't know this. What the fuck? I think a lot of the stuff from this era, you know, on one hand you have like people like Ethan Klein who are just kind of making fun of it, but then you have people like TJ who are genuinely arguing against this shit. At that point, you're going to get to a point if you're genuinely arguing against such a crazy idea when your ideas might also become nuts, and then you're just like a part of it. Like you're a part of this like online gender war. And it's just a bad look, man. You're investing yourself way too much. Just laugh at it and move on. You don't want to be wrapped up in this like cringe ideological battle. I found the Goodreads. Neckbeard Uprising, 3.17 stars. A collection of essays on politics, entertainment, humanity, and more from the savage mind of one of the internet's most enduring provocateurs. TJ Kirk has risen to fame and fortune as the amazing atheist on YouTube. In Neckbeard Uprising, he offers a completely unfiltered view of some of the most controversial issues of our time. Let's see here. As much as I enjoy TJ's videos, it would be dishonest of me to recommend a book this poorly written. TJ has no ear for the subtleties of language. He writes sentences so clumsy and overwrought, you have to actively parse them. Not to mention they're full of typos. If you're looking for fresh ideas in this book, look elsewhere. This reads like TJ slapped a few of his Tumblr posts and YouTube scripts between the covers and called it a day. There's just so little to sink your teeth into. A shame, since I was looking forward to this one. He did not have an editor for this book. This guy just says, I liked it. 4 stars, I liked it. I liked it. Shout out to Elig. Shout out to Elig, dude. The god, I liked it. Just as simple as that. That's all you need to say. I liked it. No need to elaborate. Base moment.
Advertising this book, Neckbeard Uprising. TJ was even on CNN in 2013.
So the talkback question today, at least the first...
This is such a time capsule once again, when all these like... This is like when mainstream media was already on its way out. It was already dying. Like, unironically, at this point, Aswin Gold is probably getting 5 times the viewership daily as something like CNN. But CNN was trying to pull these people on from the culture war. So they were having like Milo Yiannopoulos, the amazing atheist, stuff like that. People like that, rather, were coming on their news all the time. Tom, have you seen the Ghost Gun video on Our Atheism? It's a good video that expands on this goofy subculture. I don't know if I've actually seen that one. I do like Ghost Gum, though. I'll put that on my list of stuff to take a look at, because I do enjoy looking at this this old world stuff. The thing is, I don't even think that atheism is inherently cringe, but it's just like the kinds of people that were on the internet at this time arguing for it just became such an echo chamber of fucking spurgs, man. Gotta put it to an end, bro. Have you seen the most recent post on your Reddit? No, I have not.
Bristol, and why is atheism on the rise in America? Joining me now to discuss this are William Lane Craig, the founder of reasonablefaith.org, Reverend Markel Hutchins, a civil and human rights activist, and TJ Kirk, who calls himself the amazing atheist. Welcome to all of you.
And part of the thing here, too, is like a lot of the crazy, quote-unquote, radical feminists that TJ was arguing against were crazy. They were annoying. They wouldn't shut the fuck up. They did have really crazy, unhinged beliefs. But then, in order to counter them, TJ was just like, at first, making like relatively probably reasonable videos debating them. But then it became like an echo chamber where he gets an audience for it. He thinks he can almost get away with anything. And then he starts going on Reddit to argue with them in their own territory. You don't want to be on the atheist home turf. You want to stay disconnected from it. Sorry, you don't want to be in the feminist home turf. You want to stay disconnected from it, you know? You want to be out of that kind of realm. The people who look the best from this era, who haven't had all their shit, I mean, a lot of it has aged like pretty poorly, but the people who haven't had like their own downfalls are the people who just made fun of it and then moved on and didn't build an entire audience off of like bullying feminists incessantly. As much as the feminists kind of deserved it for being so crazy, right? Audience capture. Yeah, audience capture is definitely a real thing. And at that point, it's like if your entire brand is built off of shitting on this like 3-year period where a lot of the quote unquote SJWs and feminists online were really crazy, and you try to transition out of that, you kind of have a hard time. You know, you kind of have a hard time moving on. The audience just wants to see you shit on them more and more, so you create a market for that. It's better to like have a wide berth of content and like make fun of this, make fun of that, make fun of both sides a little bit, so you're not totally captured in this one little space where you can only espouse one side of the political perspective. And you might even end up accumulating an audience that you hate is the thing, you know? You want to be careful about that. That's why I've been somewhat careful to not only make videos about left-wing people. Like there was like an arc where I was definitely making fun of a lot of bread tubers like Ethan is Online or Nick is Not Green. But also there's a lot of crazy right-wing dudes. Like I made fun of Andy Pants Games. I made a video about Steven Crowder's career falling apart. It's good to have kind of a wide berth of people you're willing to criticize. Because if you don't have that, like, it's very easy to just get one audience that will absolutely hate you if you shit on anyone who's right-wing. And the opposite happens too. Like you'll have an audience that will absolutely hate you if you shit on anyone who's left-wing, you know? A lot of bread tubers would probably love to shit on Hassan all the time, but they can't do it because the audience loves him.
Like, I can't watch my CNN appearance either. I went on CNN because there was like a new poll out that showed
the fence sitter method is the way. You don't want to be a fence sitter. The thing is, you can still have an opinion. It's not a fence sitter to be willing to shit on crazy people on both sides. It doesn't make you a fence sitter. That makes you reasonable and measured. And ironically, the actual like audience captured people are the real fence sitters because they'll only shit on one side because they know it's convenient and it makes them money, right? That's like being an actual fence sitter, in my opinion.
The faith was on the decline in America, so they had me on there. But unfortunately, I was supposed to be on 30 Minutes, but unfortunately, that was the day that fucking Ratzinger resigned or whatever.
TJ's appearance on national television was quite massive, as traditional media outlets hardly ever care for new media figures, especially ones that pour hot oil on themselves.
Even back in the day, I remember these guys got so big that, like, I don't think this would happen now. I think Rogan's too big, but Rogan had like Sargon of Akkad on. Yeah, he talked to him about Sargon went on Joe Rogan to talk about the VidCon debacle. And here to talk about claiming victimhood.
Hello, freak bitches.
Savile.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, yeah, you
I think that lost a lot of faith in
that's not the reason.
English TV watcher.
No, it's not. That's not the reason. The reason
Obviously, it's not the reason. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Sorry. Sorry. You guys, I've been dealing.
Like this happened. I'm pretty sure the Amazing Atheist went on as well. TJ Kirk on Joe Rogan. Yeah, he did go on. Oh, here he asked him about the whole Milo thing. Do you guys remember this? So Milo Yiannopoulos was back in the day. He was like a very popular, I don't know if alt-right is the term, but like it's more of like, it's like, because there's like a kind of a new kind of like conservative or like Republican guy that was birthed out of the Trump era where they weren't in agreement with like the neocons. They were more on like a populist perspective. And that was kind of what Milo Yiannopoulos came out of, right? It was like not quite alt-right, but not really also like the whole you know, original, like he wasn't like Paul Ryan, right? But he also wasn't quite like Richard Spencer. He was kind of somewhere in between there. And Milo had a whole controversy where Milo went on the Drunken Peasants podcast that TJ Kirk was a part of at the time. And he said something to the effect of like I don't remember the entire clip, but the clip essentially came across as him justifying like older men being with young boys in the gay community, and he said that he liked it. And then that got talked about, and that got Milo absolutely fucking canceled. And here's a clip of it. Looks like TJ Kirk talking about it.
At the time he was on our show, I told Paul, one of my co-hosts, like, Paul, this guy ain't no lightweight, and he's got a huge army of sycophants right now. If you get in a debate with him, if you lose, you're a total bitch. If you tie, you lose. If you win by a little, you lose. The only way you can actually beat him with his army of sycophants at this time is if you just demolish him. So don't even try.
You were concerned about this? Like, this is like something you planned out in advance?
No, I mean, I wasn't really...
I only remember Milo for pretending to be gay. I would say he didn't pretend to be gay. I would say he is not. He is pretending to not be gay now, is my understanding. I think I saw some clip of him. He was like on... He was on like some TV channel that was selling like statues of Mother Mary, and he's now like a reformed gay man. He says that like being gay was a choice and he's repenting for his sins. But he used to always talk about how he was like, I'm right wing and I still love my black boyfriend, like stuff like that.
It wasn't really a plan. I just wanted to bring it up because I saw him on your show saying it. I'm like, that's very strange.
I kind of knew where he was coming from.
Sure.
Because I knew that he had experiences, like sexual experiences when he was younger.
Yeah.
And he was kind of, I think he was trying to trivialize them and turn them into humor.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, so it was him on Rogan that then got talked about on The Drunken Peasants. That's what kind of got it burned down. Okay.
And, you know, his way of dealing with it or whatever, you know, say like, it was mutual between me and the priest. I was molested by a priest, but I was into it, so it was cool.
Well, he's like, I was the predator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he seduced the priest, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for me to imagine a 13-year-old boy, no matter how flamboyantly gay or sexually aggressive, you know, jumping the priest's bones or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, I think it sort of gives you a better understanding of how this guy came to be who he is today and why he so relishes this role of being the contrarian and being this this sort of very difficult to pigeonhole gay man who's very conservative but yet believes in man-boy love.
Look, this is if you go back and you read old articles that he wrote for...
And ultimately, a lot of this stuff from this time period that they're talking about, like Milo Yiannopoulos getting so mainstream, TJ Kirk getting so like mainstream with the attention, like a lot of these talking points are now a part of like mainstream conservatism. I mean, you can say it's not conservative. Obviously, I had that conversation on my stream. But like a lot of the stuff here about like the crazy feminists and like stuff from the anti-SJW era has now become, I feel like, a lot of the talking points of a lot of like actual mainstream conservatism as far as like politicians and stuff like that, you know, like the whole like safe spaces debacle or like the snowflakes, like that stuff is stuff that I've seen, like my dad, like, you know, send me Facebook posts about. It's kind of a crazy era, bro, to see this stuff permeate. Tom, I drew fan art of your cats. If you want to check it out, just reply to your tweet. Is it this one? The most relatable guy ever. Oh, this one's awesome. Is this you? I don't know if this is you, or is it this one? I like this one if this is the one you're talking about. I did look at this. Love to see it, chat. This one is way better than my design. I like this one quite a bit. That would make a funny plushie.
Because another video of TJ, in the same vein of the banana video, had leaked.
How did the oil feel? This is a reference.
What hat is he wearing here? What helmet is this?
To another of my sex tapes that has leaked, and I'm supposed
Another
to
one?
feel
There were multiple, bro. There were multiple. Come on, bro.
ashamed, I guess.
Army helmet? Well, yeah, but what military? Like, what army? This isn't the U.S. Army, is it? This looks different.
How did it feel? It felt hot.
TJ did have quite the reputation, as he had now been on YouTube for 7 years.
He's tard maxing. Yeah, this is for gym class. This is his hat for gym class, dude. I needed a hat for gym class. Frankly, I should have been wearing one the entire time. I should have had a hat and been on a leash. I should have been in the chair all of high school, like, duh. That would have been good. That would have been good for me. I would have, I think, had more time to be on YouTube if I didn't have homework.
The people that were big on YouTube...
Oh my god, method to get big on YouTube. Pretend to be autistic at school so everyone thinks you're a fucking idiot and then go home and make the most keynote content of all time. That is genius. Someone's going to do that right now. Tom, do you have a creator support code? What do you see in the top left? gamersubs.gg/Tom. 10% off.
You know, when I first joined up, like, they're just gone now. And the people who were my contemporaries at the time, they're pretty much all gone too. So I don't know why
Last
I'm
man
still
standing.
here why my channel is still viable, the only explanation I can really come up with...
This was not even TJ's peak. In 2014, he launched the Drunken Peasants podcast with a fan-turned-friend. This podcast was successful in its own right. Even with these successes, TJ was failing to find satisfaction elsewhere. Quote, I no longer have anything to lose by sharing this story, so I might as well. My audience should understand what is going on in my life. Not everything will make sense immediately, but as you read on, things will become more clear. The first thing I want to show you is a statement regarding an incident that took place on Saturday, November 15, 2014. Unquote. This is from the Amazing Atheist Facebook, a post that is 4,300.
Oh my god.
It starts.
Dude, this is longer than the scripts for the Tom Dark channel. He wrote all this out. I feel like generally, unless this is like a situation that's like previously publicized and like there's misconceptions around it, you feel like you need to clear up. Generally, talking about personal incidents like this is a bad idea. You know, I generally try to, you know, for good reason, I think, make my personal life separate from YouTube. Because it breeds too much parasocialness, and people just like want to ask about your relationships and like your friendships and your family life. Like your little one-off comments here and there is fine, but generally, you know, making your audience that attached is a pretty bad idea, I think. You see this with a lot of Twitch streamers. They feel like a compulsion to talk about their personal life. And they benefit from it in the short term because they get like this reality TV show like following, like all the OTK guys. But then it you know has kind of a downfall in the long term where people are speculating so much about what's going on in your personal life, and it's just cancer. Do you have a Fortnite code? No, I don't.
With him describing his visit to his trans femme boyfriend Kyle that lives with his parents.
Trans femme boyfriend Kyle. Okay. All right. The gooning has begun.
In an undisclosed town.
Well, not begun. The gooning continues rather for him.
Kentucky. Here, TJ is expressing his and Kyle's want to go to Columbus, Ohio, where TJ's home is. And so, on November 15th, TJ was visiting Kyle and his family with his desire to take Kyle with him. Quote, when Kyle finally did arrive, he gave me a big hug and I lifted him up into my arms. We helped his mom carry in and put away groceries. Then Kyle and I sat on the living room couch where I proceeded to chat with him, smoke cigarettes, hold him, and play little lovers games with him. He was happy and in good spirits for the most part, though his diagnosed schizoaffective disorder with depression was sometimes apparent. Overall, though, it was clear that he was very happy with my presence. It was around 6:30 through 7 p.m. when Rick returned home from some sort of dispute with a family friend. He seemed to be in good spirits and was jovial. Unquote. TJ then states that Rick, Kyle's father, sent Kyle and his mother to run an errand. Here's where his demeanor changes. Quote, he said in a very hushed and gravelly tone, I looked on the internet and saw some stuff, and I think you are one sick, twisted, evil son of a bitch. I was caught off guard by this remark, as Rick had hitherto been friendly towards me in all of our meetings and telephone conversations. And you ain't taking that youngin' Kyle anywhere. Unquote. TJ then describes Rick pulling a handgun from his pocket, and if TJ moved too quickly, Rick threatened to put 2 in him.
What?
It is then that Rick instructed TJ to leave, and to that extent, leave Kyle and his family alone. TJ then goes on to detail his continued interaction with Kyle's family, and that he was requesting an exchange of items as he had some of Kyle's stuff, and Kyle had stuff that...
I mean, this is a really crazy interaction. I kind of feel bad for him, you know? He doesn't really deserve this happening to him. Like, whatever he said online, I don't think was bad enough that the father should have been pulling out a gun and threatening him, but... Like, I just don't understand why he felt the need to share this, you know? He must have had a lack of personal friendship support in his real life. Like, he didn't have people he could talk to, so now he's seeking it out on the internet from his audience. Link for feet finders? All right, buddy. You're done. You're done. You're done. But yeah, I feel like there's just no reason to be telling the entire internet about whatever's going on. Just call the police. Yeah, exactly. Is he telling the truth? I mean, he might be. He might not be. We have no way of really knowing unless we get some, like, kind of contradictory account. But generally, you know, just sharing these weird personal accounts like this is just not necessary, you know?
That TJ bought for him.
The dad's allergic to bananas and is jealous. Dude, yes! The dad is a banana hater, dude. Bro, there's this one clip of The Amazing Atheist where he's talking about the banana thing. He's talking about Onision with the Onision, I'm a banana video. Remember that? He's like, Onision, you're a banana. And we all know what I do to bananas. That was actually a seriously good own.
As well as $140 that he gave them for financial assistance. The story then devolves into lengthy back and forths. TJ is possibly making this post in an attempt to reach Kyle, as it is one of the closing statements. Quote, I'd like to state as a matter of public record that I love Kyle very much. and that if he ever chose to contact me, I would take him back, unquote.
So he's stating it publicly on his YouTube channel. With a family that already doesn't like his online presence, he's detailing their personal drama in the hopes that his trans femme boyfriend will take him back. Was this made public by someone else? Like, why did he make this public in the first place? Was there some story he felt he needed to address? What is going on here? Once again, I just publicizing you trying to get your boyfriend back? Why?
This all fell
Unadvisable.
apart because of what Rick, Kyle's father, found online. And it isn't a very deep rabbit hole to go down. When typing The Amazing Atheist into the search bar of Google, it will autofill the banana incident. No matter what TJ does, what ideas he puts out into the world...
Amazing Atheist banana incident. Is that true? Amazing Atheist. I don't really see it. I don't see it here. Maybe it's because I've already searched up other Amazing Atheist type stuff. Every time I close my eyes... What happens when you close your eyes, buddy? It is childish and dramatic. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a really fucked up situation he's in here, but I just don't see why he's I don't see why he's getting involved. You know, why he's getting people involved in general. Just doesn't seem advisable, honestly.
Or shows his support for interest.
That's not true. It has a clock icon. That means it was in your history. Oh yeah, true. So he had already looked it up. Okay. Misinformation spread by June the King. Owned, dude.
Always comes back to
a banana.
This is not to say that TJ was not influential in other ways. Both The Amazing Atheist and the Drunken Peasants podcast reached a new peak in around 2016, as TJ was focusing on what he called anti-SJW content that for the past 5 years had always been his most viewed content.
Right. Then this is the perfect time for it. This kind of content was such a money printer. I remember back then, even like all of the commentary channels, like there's kind of a flip that will happen where commentary channels, like they'll kind of weigh in on politics stuff sometimes. Like anti-SJW stuff is kind of political, but it's also apolitical in the way that you can kind of make fun of them without getting serious about the ideas. You can just be like, oh my God, look at this crazy feminist. She's triggered, haha, without actually going like really deep into it. You can kind of do that. But at the time, all the commentary channels, like I'm Alex, Leafy, literally like name any commentary channel, they were all like making fun of like the cringe BuzzFeed feminism videos. I feel like a lot of that shit was kind of the downfall of BuzzFeed and just what made them so hated, because BuzzFeed would make these videos like the manspreading video, which was an absolutely crazy thing, and they had to have known that it would get like a lot of attention and people would like make fun of it, and so they probably were like relying off of that as a business model, like, oh well, even though people hate it, it'll get a lot of clicks, but if your only clicks are coming from outrage, if the only reason people hear about you is because you're promoting outrage and trying to get hate on you, eventually you're not going to have any real audience left, and it's all going to be just people who fucking hate you, right? And anytime you post something that isn't the outrageous content, it's not going to get media attention. Nobody's going to actually talk about it. You don't want to exist off of outrage. This is like the same phenomenon with the IRL streamers like Johnny Somali, right? Or even Jack Doherty, right? The only reason people even talk about them outside of their audience is because of how hated they are and how annoying they are. But they don't actually accumulate any real following. So they just have to slowly up the ante with the craziness, which is probably why BuzzFeed started with 10 questions for white men and then ended on men are sexist because they spread their legs too much on the subway. Rip Leafy? True. Thanks for the dono, John.
He was even using this to raise money for charity.
If we're gonna raise $200,000 for women, let's raise it for women who actually need our help, not a spoiled scam artist looking to bilk the internet for all it's worth.
This was influenced by Anita Sarkeesian's own fundraising that sought to raise funds for her own projects.
Like, this is the thing, like, man, Anita Sarkeesian, as annoying and cringe as she was, like, the people arguing with her almost became of that level. They almost came of that level and just became hated outside their audience, you know?
And TJ's campaign ended up raising $122,000. In a way, this was part of TJ closing this chapter of making anti-SJW content, something influenced by his increased frustration.
Have we reached the point where in some ways anti-SJWs are as bad as SJWs? Recently, I've seen tons of people giving Patton Oswalt shit for being an SJW because he said he was a feminist in his most recent stand-up special. I've seen people giving David Cross shit because in his most recent special, he made fun of the anti-PC crowd. Guys, giving comedians shit for telling jokes you don't like, that's not anti-SJW shit, that's SJW shit.
That's true. And I don't know how cringe Patton Oswalt, whatever his name is, or David Cross, the man responsible for Uncle Ian and Alvin and the Chipmunks, for which he deserves eternal respect. I don't know how cringe those jokes were, but ultimately, like, once again, I think a lot of it, like, if the initial motivation for this shit was making fun of the feminists, you know, which is fine. Ultimately, it kind of created an audience of people who genuinely were mad at them and hated them and wanted like, any joke they make to be like, this is just too far, you know? This is too far. And that's kind of when you know that you got to get out of there. Got to get out while it's still good and not rely on that audience. You should dye your hair this way. Yeah, that would look really good, dude. This is actually me.
Like, my staunch atheism doesn't prevent me from enjoying Johnny Cash singing a gospel song or admiring old religious art like the Sistine Chapel. The fact that I lean left doesn't prevent me from enjoying movies with a right-wing bent like the Dirty Harry films. What a miserable betrayal of the very purpose of art it is when we cannot tolerate any work of art that to even the slight...
I don't think any of these people actually care about their cause or whatever, just grifters and irrelevant content creators. The thing is, it's not as simple as that. Because the problem with it is like, okay, so at the start, at the inception of The Amazing Atheist, I think there's probably no doubt that he was actually passionate about what he was saying, and he did believe in it. And he's right here with what he's saying as well. But the problem becomes that when you make content off of like a belief system, even if the belief system is what you actually believe in, it doesn't necessarily include groups that you don't like, you will kind of ultimately accumulate an audience that you kind of disagree with. But if you shit on them, then, you know, you have kind of this mass audience exodus, right? So like for TJ Kirk, he got a big audience off of making fun of feminists and whatever, but he was never really a right-wing guy. He was always kind of a left-wing dude. But you kind of unknowingly can accumulate an audience of people who are right-wing and don't really agree with you on a lot of your issues and criticisms of the right. But they just want to see you for the content that they were there for, which is making fun of, you know, left-wing people or leftists or socialists or feminists or whatever. So you kind of get into this difficult situation where your audience captured, and if you break the mold, you make less money, and that kind of destroys your business. But you want to be principled on it, and you want to, like, you know, tell the truth and give your own opinion. So you have to be very careful with attracting that kind of audience because you can ultimately be very punished for it in the long term.
Slightest degree deviates from our own values and beliefs.
Whether or not TJ knew it at this point, he was searching for something else to delve into.
As he states in the song, "This is the new shit. Everything has been said before. Nothing left to say anymore." These lyrics, according to Manson, are the first things written for the album. It's sort of a scary place to begin a new artistic endeavor by admitting to yourself that your bag of tricks is essentially empty, and you're not even sure what you can say that you haven't already said.
That was from video of TJ going over Marilyn Manson. The most important parts are what he sees in the art and how...
I'm really surprised he managed to get a video with 1.2 million views talking about Marilyn Manson, because that's a topic that wouldn't typically conform to what he would talk about. But I guess it just shows that he had a pretty loyal audience at that point in time. Like, you wouldn't expect that somebody who's shitting on cringy feminists would be able to make some kind of art analysis of Marilyn Manson's career. That's impressive. Good for him, actually.
How he reflects on them.
You're the amazing atheist.
I'm trying to get away from that name, though.
I know,
because you know, I mean, it's not because I'm not an atheist anymore. It's just like I don't fucking know what else to say.
Right, but you're kind of tied into that name, right?
Yeah, so I'm kind of trying to phase it out.
That was TJ on Joe Rogan, episode 746, also in 2016, expressing this same thing. A creative exhaustion with his current style of content. As profitable as it was, he did not want to create videos he was not passionate about, even if there was temptation.
And the problem with that is when you have an audience that wants that one kind of content, if you break it, they hate it, they start leaving your channel, and it gets no views. So what you have to do is you have to very slowly integrate the kind of content you want to do in the future with the content that the people are there for. And this isn't just exclusive to political creators. This is with anything, right? Like, if you blow up off of making Minecraft content, right? You blow up off making content on that one game, and you accumulate an audience of people who are there because they like you and they think you're funny, but they only want to see you play Minecraft, and you break that mold, you will have a very hard time doing that immediately. So you need to like start it slowly. Like, let's say you make Minecraft content, you post 5 videos a week that are of you playing Minecraft, but you want to break that because Minecraft is dying or something. You need to slowly like, okay, today I'm going to make a video about Terraria or some other similar game to Minecraft aesthetically, like Roblox or something, right? Even though Roblox isn't very similar, people do associate, or at least in the past, they did associate Roblox with Minecraft a lot. And then you can slowly break out into like, okay, today I'm going to play a horror game. Today I'm going to play a shooter game. You can slowly do that over time to the point where you'll have an audience that you know, will watch whatever you do rather than watching you do that one trend that they were there for. You got to do it slowly over time. You got to edge. You got to groom the audience slowly.
Money in grifting a right-wing audience. And I know that because I felt the temptation. I walked that line a little bit, and it was like, ooh, yeah, wow, I'm getting such a response.
So fucked up.
Like, but look at what I'm having to do to get it. And a lot.
Wait, I didn't even realize that was him at first. Why does he looks so tired, man? He looks hurt. What's going on?
I'm like, but look at what I'm having to do to get it. And a lot of people, I think, just, followed that line of corruption all the way to this point where now people who used to be, or at least came across like moderates, are now like crazed right-wingers who, don't believe in a woman's right to choose or, any of these basic things that I feel like we all used to be pretty much on the same boat on.
After 2016, the anti-SJW genre fell in popularity. And while TJ's ideals had not necessarily changed, along with his creative exhaustion, he was expressing how pointless it all felt.
Passion! Passion! Their outrage machine, the SJW outrage machine, dominates mainstream discourse, and the pushback against them is almost entirely obscure underground bullshit. Some of the alt media, some YouTube channels, some forums. Oh, yeah.
I feel like you might be showing a little bit too much of how the sausage is made here. It's okay to speak your intentions publicly sometimes with the kind of content you want to do, but I feel like the best method to actually do it is to just change your content and let the content speak for itself, I think that's probably the way to go, rather than like sometimes you don't need to make like a big statement to the audience about how you want to change and how you don't like the old content you made. It might be better sometimes to just actually do the content you want to do and slowly introduce that over time instead of like, publicly going out and saying, I'm going to change, because that can cause some serious divisiveness, Kind of the thing with iDubbbz that I feel like he messed up is he could have just slowly changed his content over time to reflect his newfound beliefs and his newfound, want to not be edgy. But instead, he had to like shit on the audience inherently and just have this mass exodus, which is really not a good idea. Really, really, really not a good idea. You don't need to show how the sausage is made, bruh.
Yeah, well, they got the mainstream media in Hollywood and they control the public discourse, but we could go on this internet forum and fucking tell them what for. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. But I do agree that the SJW shit is getting mightily played out, and I do plan to scale it back and find some other things worth delving into. But the focus of what my channel is will always remain the same. I'm gonna take on stupid bullshit wherever I see it.
This is not the only video TJ made like this. And with TJ disillusioned with creating content because of its theme rather than its message, he was losing viewership.
On June 10th, I uploaded Why Science is Not the New Irrational Religion, which got 10,350 thumbs up, 358 thumbs down, lost 191 subs.
I actually like H3 a lot at some point when I was really young. Everyone did, right? I did. I mean, he's kind of come around now. He's having some somewhat base takes, but I will say, even though I think he's right in that whole Hassan beef, I think he's arguing too much with, not that they don't deserve it, he's arguing too much with random shitters and comment sections and stuff, and once again, it's kind of the same thing, the same problem that TJ was having here, where like he is in the right. He does deserve the redemption arc. I do get it, but at the same time, you got to stop incessantly talking about the Hassan drama to some extent, Like, even though he's 1,000% right, and Hassan is also obsessively talking about it, you don't want to look like you're mad. You don't want to look like you're mad at any point in time. You want to appear somewhat aloof, generally speaking. Being mad online is not good. It's not good. It usually is not going to benefit you.
That day. You know what days I gained subs? June 13th, I gained 104 subs. June 14th, gained 64. You know what I posted those days? Nothing.
TJ, trying to enter a new chapter, changed the name of his channel to TJ Kirk. By the end of 2017, TJ had also separated from the Drunken Peasants podcast, only to announce a new podcast shortly after, known as Deep Fat Fried. And though it is not as successful in terms of YouTube viewership as the Drunken Peasants were, it does have a sizable following of dedicated patrons who are looking to be enlightened by TJ and friends' content.
Hassan may be a whiny bitch, but he isn't coping as bad as Ethan. No, I think the thing is, okay, if you want to use the term coping, Hassan is actually coping because he's just lying about it. Ethan is saying the truth. He is being honest, and he is being, like, quote-unquote based. But sometimes, quote-unquote, being based, in terms of, like, being, like, openly, like, I'm the base guy, I'm telling the truth, whatever, is not beneficial. Sometimes the thing you want to do generally is just to distance yourself slowly, Like, H3, I feel like the problem for him is I've just seen, like, every single day he's posting about Hassan, and he is right about Hassan, but that's not going to really benefit you in the long term if you're just, like, constantly talking about him, constantly posting about him on Instagram or whatever, I don't think that's going to really benefit you long term that much. You think Hassan will face a downfall? It's possible. Who knows? It's hard to predict the future. He was kind of losing a lot of viewership for a while, but then it went back up during the election. It might start sliding again. I guess we'll see, because his audience is really crazy. But who's to say? At the end of the day, there's always probably going to be an audience that wants to see him be really nuts. He probably is losing kind of like some of the mainstream appeal that he had at some point in time, because he's been getting more nuts over time, and the crazy clips that have come out of him make a lot of mainstream creators not want to associate with him as much. Like, Ludwig wouldn't even defend Hassan. He just won't even talk about him, right? He just won't even talk about him. I hate to interrupt the grifter lore discussion, but Tom, you had repeatedly said in the past you thought Dogpack 404's intentions were good. Apologize for platforming a poor person, poor people moment. Yeah, I think probably, if I had to guess at this point, I still think that, you know, Dogpack's going to respond in some way. Because at this point, he has nothing to lose, and I feel like there's no way he's seen the error of his ways. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like he will respond at some point. I will say, you know, looking back, I think my assertion that he had good intentions is probably wrong. I think he still thinks he's doing the right thing. I don't think in his mind he's evil. In his mind, he is the hero that's exposing Mr. Beast. But realistically speaking, so many of the misrepresentations have just cost him a lot, and it's, you know, it's not undeserved.
Shit his pants.
Oh. Damn. Bruh. Fart maxing, dude, stop.
Damn, dude.
On his channel, things continue to be as serious.
Today, I would like to talk about the size of Lara Croft's tits.
Okay. This is still a conversation that's going on to this day. The quote-unquote masculinization of Lara Croft is a big conversation these days on Twitter.
TJ's tweet and video were covered by several articles. But TJ had always played with fire, and it was something he was used to. Just not in the literal sense.
This fire was caused by electrical issues, because the electricity in here is faulty. You know, it's been like totally jerry-rigged beyond belief. I think the guy that was our landlord set it up himself. So right now, I don't really have...
To me, like, when I see the Lara Croft conversation, I just see both sides, and I hate to both sides this, but both sides do seem retarded. Because on one hand, you have these people who are like, no woman actually looks like that. And it's like, well, very few women look like that, but some women do look like that, and even if they don't, like, it's a cartoon character, so, like, whatever, she has big tits, right? But at the same time, you have these people who are like, her tits getting smaller is an affront to Tomb Raider. I will never, ever, ever look Tomb Raider's way again. This is part of the woke mob, and it's like, it's probably not that crazy. You know, it's probably not that nuts. I don't think it's that serious. I can't imagine getting so bent out of shape about Lara Croft's tits being smaller. So yeah, that's kind of the both sidesing for me on that. I guess part of it is also I never gave a fuck about Tomb Raider that much, so I just, like, it was never a concern for me how big her breasts were and how low they hang.
I have a place to live. I don't have a place to shoot my videos other than just shooting them on this phone.
TJ's house had caught fire due to shoddy wiring. Luckily, the fire did not consume the entire property. These videos and tweets were looked back on when TJ released his video titled, "Enough with the goddamn firefighters already."
When they think of firefighters, always think of them at their best, running into a burning building to save somebody. But how often does that really come up?
So true, dude. Own those frauds. They're sitting around eating burgers all day. All right, they're just chilling. Destroy the firefighters.
Usually the firefighter is standing on the sidewalk holding a fucking hose and spraying the flames from a safe goddamn distance. I had a house fire last year and the local newspaper reported that the firefighters have saved our cat, that's this douche, and our iguana. The fucking local newspaper, my house nearly burned to the fucking ground. Firefighters saved it and I thanked them for it, but the newspaper said they saved our cat and they saved our iguana. Well, first of all, stupid fucking newspaper for idiots. My cat ran upstairs, and the fireman looked at it and was like, eh. So here's who's the bigger hero.
They were like,
person risking their life to save my life, or the person risking their life just to get me a fucking meal that I'm too lazy to make for myself. Pizza delivery drivers are the real fucking heroes.
So true, dude. My respect's going up. Firefighters need to stop until until there's a fire at my house, in which case I love them so much they need to save me. And I will literally suck their dicks.
And in fact, next time I order a pizza, I'm going to give the pizza guy a $100 tip.
The point that TJ was trying to make with this video is that he finds it strange that with annual fires in the US down, and with the job of a firefighter being turned partially into EMT work and the like, he believes their numbers should be reduced by what he perceives to be the demand.
We've got more and more goddamn firefighters and less goddamn fires. How does that make sense?
Well, the increase of firefighters deters the fires. If you have more firefighters, the amount of fires is probably going to be less because they're putting it out.
Demand decreases, but supply increases? Figure that one out, because I can't. Most of what firefighters do now is respond to medical emergencies.
TJ is not always...
Well, that's still good. I mean, it's good if they're saving people, regardless if it's in a fire or not. I don't... There's too many firefighters. We need to put them out of business. Our tax dollars are being spent on firefighters when they should be spent on, I don't even know, bananas. Need to be spent on bananas. TJ Kirk is in support of the, he's in support of the CIA for usurping South American governments to have more bananas. But when it comes to first responders, it's over.
He's taken entirely seriously.
Hello, I'm the Joker.
Based!
I'm Donald Trump.
But in this case,
what is that?
It was more so because of the information he failed to find.
In fact, did you know since 1985 that fire department call volumes have tripled and responses to hazardous materials have quadrupled?
Dude, firefighter commentary channel destroys the Amazing Atheist. He should have been on the r/firefighter subreddit arguing with them. Then he would have truly won. He would have been like, oh, little firefighter, are you triggered? Are you triggered, firefighter? Are you triggered, bro? Should have saved my cat quicker.
Not to mention the fact that, did you know that fires are spreading 8 times faster than they did 50 years ago and producing 200 times more smoke?
This response comes from the channel Fire Department Chronicles, a channel that boasts a sizable 4.3 million subscribers compared to TJ's million that he hit in February of 2021. Only this was the second time it happened. The first was when he was gaining subscribers in 2016. This does not mean TJ was entirely against this. He was uploading far less than he was back then and was making videos that he preferred to make even though he knew they wouldn't get as much viewership. The same goes for his written works.
Yeah, and you said you're working on a novel. What's your novel about? Fiction? Non-fiction?
Yeah, I mean, it's called Sex Bot Uprising. It's a
Sex Bot Uprising. We started with a neckbeard uprising, now it's Sex Bot Uprising. What could this possibly be about? What interesting information could we glean from this?
It's a space, pseudo-intellectual space smut.
Overall, TJ was being more explorative of himself, even if he did not know what that was.
36 years into my existence, I really don't know what I am, what I believe, what I stand for. I want to paint more, I want to draw more, I want to write my novel.
This is likely what influenced TJ's stint of wearing face paint and makeup for some videos.
Oh yeah!
Oh my god, what a physique. I've never seen a winter arc dirty bulk that's better in my life, dude. Look at that. Look, Amazing Atheist. Just start with the gym. It'll all come together after that, I promise. At least some of it will. Some of it will.
Oh, motherfucker! I feel it! I fucking feel that shit! Yeah! Cool.
Where TJ was once pulling in millions of views a month, he now barely breaks 500,000 a month. And while views are a fair metric of success on YouTube, TJ, with his near 2 decades on the platform, has grown less interested with that metric. Instead, he finds joy in other things.
I posted a tweet where I was like, pregnant men, girl dicks, pregnant men, girl dicks. Just bait for the chuds. Little bait tweet.
Bait for the chuds. You don't want to be in a position where you're sincerely calling people chuds and saying I'm posting bait for the chuds. That's just not a good that's just not a good I'm posting. This is just the same as Reddit. Stop. Just stop whatever this is, bruh. Stop.
Was going to hook the queen of the turfs herself, J.K. motherfucking Rowling.
And even better than that, she found out about the fucking banana video.
Oh,
People
shit.
keep telling me about
Dude, yes. Dude. She's getting pilled. She's getting sucked down a dark rabbit hole.
the banana. I had no need or wish to know about the banana. Oh my God. I have peaked. This is it. It's not going to get any better than this.
This, in many ways, captures TJ's legacy as it stands and as he understands it. His videos are a combination of serious ideologies combined with an absolute silliness that can distract from the conversation depending on what the viewer wants to see. In virtually every thread discussing or looking back on TJ, there will always be comments dissecting his politics and grander messages. And then there will be a comment talking about the banana that gets more attention. Like a yellow boomerang, it always comes back to insert itself in the conversation. And I
see what you did there, in the conversation.
The depiction TJ seems fine with, which is possibly the best stance, as the banana and TJ will never be separated.
I feel like, even after watching all that and a lot of the cringe, I don't hate TJ Kirk. I don't hate The Amazing Atheist. He is an important part of internet culture. He did help create, probably in some way, the commentary genre. His ideas did permeate mainstream politics in a way that, you can have some respect for, even if you don't agree. At the very least, he was heard a little bit, but I don't absolutely hate him, but obviously there's a lot of cringe. But it's interesting that he's decided to just give up caring about metrics and just post whatever he wants. I think that's probably cool. That's good. It's good to have that kind of realization that the most important thing is not views, rather just be yourself. He walked so you could run. Exactly. Thank you for the 10 water. I feel like an IRL documentary about him would probably be pretty good. If he was willing to do it, that'd probably be pretty funny. Like, that'd be quite an interesting take. This has been an interesting peer back into the anti-SJW era, into the atheist era before that. A lot of people forget that the anti-SJW stuff kind of started with the whole atheist movement on YouTube. And TJ Kirk, his content ultimately probably gave way to a lot of the, shitting on SJW cringe compilations. I even hate saying the term SJW, but I just can't think of another term to describe it. He's pretty boring beyond his sexual deviancies. I disagree. He's pretty entertaining. I mean, he had a pretty big arc on YouTube. He was huge. He was fucking massive. What is this?
So yesterday, I went into some internet chat rooms, and I pretended to be a housewife in her mid-30s. And I learned a lot of interesting things. The first thing I learned was that guys in chat rooms, if you enter the chat room with a name that implies that you are a housewife, will try harder than ever to bang you.
Okay. Thank you for your insight. Damn. Get off the chat rooms, bro. It's not going to benefit you. You don't need to find out what the housewives are thinking about, to be honest with you. In my humble opinion. All right, chat. We finished The Amazing Atheist. Good to see. Glad we got through it.